What's going on? Today is Wednesday. It's not the God Logic Project day, but it got God Logic Project vibes. We have a Muslim that wants to come on and talk about chapter 3, verse 55 of the Quran, and my argument that Jesus actually died according to what the Quran says. So this should be an excellent and fun conversation. God bless everyone that's here in the chat. Chris Claus was there first, so it's good to see everybody. Make sure you guys give a like on the video and share it, react to it. You guys know how we do. And let's get things started.
Like, is it in the Quran or a Hadith where you can equate that, a Rasul, like you said, right, to a Messiah?
No problem. I'll get you on that. So you got a question? No problem. Come back next Sunday. We'll bring you some books.
Is there anywhere in the Quran or the Hadith where anybody else other than Jesus is called the Messiah?
It is a modern comment by a modern editor. It is not a Hadith.
What masters of Hadith narration does not know that no Hadith narration starts with, "So dear reader." You seem nervous, man.
They are the ones that are anointed, right?
Wait, they are the ones?
It doesn't mention here, but I'll show you.
Why do I have to keep catching you on this?
The one anointed.
The one? Beautiful, the one?
It doesn't say the one. The one anointed.
That's what you just said. I'm scared. All right, check it running.
That's one of my favorite clips, y'all. Shout out to 100 for making that clip. Shout out to 100 for making that clip. Come on in, everybody. Come on in. Welcome. I just came from the gym, so I'm kind of worn out. I got my protein smoothie here, trying to put on some weight, some muscle. So y'all pray for me, man. But yeah, Chris, if you wanted to come up, you know that you can join as usual. It's a special someone's birthday today. Our sister in Christ, Dragon Daenerys. She's one of the mods on here. So I don't think she's in here yet, but even if she doesn't come, it's okay if she sees this later. God bless you, sister, and happy birthday. Shout out to you. We love you. And thank you for everything that you do here on the channel, helping out with the moderation. I love you, sister. Chris Claus.
Mr. God Logic. How you doing, brother?
What's going on, man? You at work?
I'm still kind of at work. I'm on my way home in just a few minutes.
Yeah.
But I got to step away for a few seconds. But probably within 20 minutes, I should be home. I also want to say happy birthday to Dragon Daenerys as well. Mm-hmm. Sister Dragon is a very amazing lady. She does a lot of stuff on everybody's channel. And every morning in Skype, I get a picture from her just to start my day off with a beautiful picture. It's just amazing what type of person she is.
Awesome, man. And so we got people coming in with some encouraging words. Love your videos. You're very smart and gifted. God bless you, Cameron. God bless you. I got a lot of help with God, the Holy Spirit, and my brother here, Chris Claus, man. So we go in the trenches together, and it's so fun. It's been a journey, man. Still looking for our Shahada, man. It's not the end of the year yet, Chris.
I'm still waiting to say it. I'm ready. We're ready.
We're ready, man. Until then, we've been fully convinced to believe in the original Quran that affirms the deity of Christ and his crucifixion and resurrection. So we're waiting on the Muslim guy to come through.
Yes, Mash Yeshua.
And we're trying to wait for that guy to come in here. Hopefully he hops in. He was on Clubhouse earlier today, actually. He was on Clubhouse earlier today. So let me see if I can hit him up. And
was he the one that was talking with Jay on there too?
No. He was the one that was. He was talking before Mo started talking. When when somebody brought up chapter 37, verse 12 about Allah being shocked. He was the guy that we brought that up to. Was you there?
Okay. No, I wasn't in there during that time.
Okay, yeah. So you missed that one then. So let me see. He recently followed me, so let's see if I could get him on, man. But other than that, anything new with you, Chris? Any plans for the channel?
I think I believe tomorrow I'm going to be off earlier. So maybe I should set up a live stream tonight for tomorrow night around 8 o'clock. Do an invitation to some Muslims, see if they want to pop in.
Yeah.
Now, also, I have been eagerly awaiting another live stream that I'm probably going to do this weekend. And what I'm doing is I'm getting all of the apostolic church fathers and the early church fathers and getting their references together, who they are, where they lived, what type in history and what they wrote, and where we can find that writing.
Yeah. Because
Muslims are constantly saying that the early Christians didn't know the Trinity or didn't understand the Trinity or things to this nature. So I want to get a nice slideshow to fully prove that out.
That's beautiful. Yeah, I just in my video that I posted today, one of the Muslim guys was making a claim that the early Christians did not affirm the Trinity, did not affirm the deity of Christ and things of this nature. And it's like, yes, they did, man. I just don't get how they can say that. Here he goes. Hey, Adam, how are you, man?
Yo.
Yo.
What's up, guys?
Welcome.
Salam al-Masih.
Salam al-Masih, Adam.
Shalom.
Nice. All right, so we here, man. Make sure everybody you're leaving a like for the video so that folks can come in and see it. It can pop up on the recommendations. We got everything New Testament up in here, man. Good to see you, Hunter. And yeah, man. So Adam, refresh our memory, my memory at least. We spoke briefly in the comment section. I honestly don't remember exactly what we said. But go ahead, to break it down.
Okay, so it was the video. You're exposing the what am I saying? Kind of a silly sister with her comments. I have to say it. She's really uneducated, but it is what it is. So at the end of the video, you did say something about was it? Yeah. So it was when Isa or Jesus was raised up to God or to Allah. So your point was, if he was with Allah, doesn't that mean he entered his creation, or something to that nature?
Okay, I see where you're going. Okay, so before I get to that, let me give a shout out right here. So we have the Outsider saying, just showing you guys some love because I haven't in a while. I thank God for all of you guys and what you do. God bless you, brothers. It's including you, Chris. So thank you so much. We appreciate you.
God bless you, Outsiders. You're amazing, man. And hey, you don't always have to be there, but we know you're always here with us, brother. We know that.
That's right. And look at the cap for Al-Masih. Al-Masih. I am a Muslim. Muslim means submitter. God logic can't debate me. All right. Let's get to it. Yeah. So the point that I made with addressing that chick was that Jesus was raised to Allah, right? He was saved according to the traditional view. He was, and Allah raised him to himself. And so basically, that would entail that Jesus is with Allah, where Allah is, and has been there ever since he raised him up from that moment. And so basically Allah is not in creation. He is above creation. And so that would mean that Jesus is also chilling above creation with Allah. So that was the point that I was making.
Okay, yeah.
So Adam, you wanted to...
Right, okay. I understand that point a bit more now. Okay. So the way the classical scholars like Ibn Kathir and Tabari, they would all like take the non-literal view on raised to me. And in general, when Allah is talking about himself and his position or where he is, he always refers to his position in the sky or in the heavens, right?
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Rob. So in general, when he says, or even there's a hadith that the prophet, there was a servant who came back from war, and he asked her, "Where is your Lord?" And she pointed in the sky, and she said, "In the sky." And he was cool with that, and he said, free her because she's a Muslim, right?
Yeah.
So the point is, when it's said he's in the sky, that's a non-literal view, and that's the way the scholars understood it.
I don't know. I don't know about that because the Muslim scholars, well, depending on what school of thought you're coming from. Usually, the Salafists, they'll say that Allah really is above creation, right?
Yeah.
And so he really is up that way, the direction. He really is up there.
I don't think it's a directional. It's more of it's like a higher, as in, so in Arabic it's alu, right? So in terms of alu, it could like you can easily say it's kind of glory. So it's not necessarily a direction up, but it means above, literally, obviously, but not necessarily up. So above everything, and in terms of position and glory.
Okay, so how would you interpret Allah descending to the first heaven? Is he really descending, or is this
right? Yeah, that's a huge point of contention within Muslims, even, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I mean, I do hold the Salafi position. So, and that is that he does descend to the lowest heaven, but how, we do not logically ask how. We just know that he does without entering his creation.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so him descending is a real dissension, though. Like he really is coming down from somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, so because of that, that's why to say that Allah is above the heavens, like that's actual. It's not talking figuratively. That it's talking about his glory and his majesty. That he's just above.
Yeah, but if you really say that, if you think about it, my up is different from your up. So depending where you live, it's a different on the earth. So when you say up, right, it doesn't necessarily mean one direction, right? So if, let's say, the universe is infinite, right, and there's no one point he can descend down from. So if he really wanted to descend down, he'd have to descend from an infinite amount of points, because we live on a round earth. So I feel like it shouldn't be taken literally.
Or he would just sit in the lowest heaven all the time.
I mean, that's not the position that the Salafis would take. They would say he's above the seventh heaven on the throne, or above the throne. So, I mean,
so if he's above the seventh heavens, right? So the heavens take stages. It's like going up steps.
Sure.
You got first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and then he's above that, right? So these are direct. It's directionally above. It's he's on top, and then he descends down to the lowest one,
right, without entering any of them.
So if he descends down to the lowest heaven, he has to pass through the other six.
Okay, so
just to clarify, are you saying if he doesn't enter those dimensional attributes of all these so-called layers of heaven, are you still saying that there's an omnipresence that Allah's occupying?
No, we do not say he's omnipresent, but we say his observation is. You could say he's everywhere in that sense. He knows what everything is going on.
So Allah's not
Well,
omnipresent.
no, not in his essence.
Interesting.
Then,
So
then he's not all powerful if he's not omnipresent.
yeah, is he limited by space? Like, is he limited to a particular realm or space?
See, I would say no, because if you really think about it, to be limited by space, you'd have to be within space in the first place. So, actually, yeah, I'll just say Jesus, right? So Jesus would obviously be limited by space since he has a height and a volume within space. So that would be a limitation, in my opinion, rather than not being able to enter. That's my view.
Do you believe that Allah can enter into creation if he wanted to?
No. I think it's impossible for him to do that.
Interesting. And why is that?
Because that would be a limitation on himself.
So if he were to enter into creation, he'd destroy it, is what you're saying, right? Like,
no, it's not that. It's just to be honest, this is a loaded question, right? So it's kind of asking a question that shouldn't be asked. You're saying something that's infinite to enter a finite dimension, which just logically can't be possible.
But then a better question would be, if he can't interact or enter or whatever, because you believe it's a limitation, then how can this infinite being create something that's finite anyway?
Because, I mean, creation in general doesn't entail to be within, or you can be infinite and create finite beings. I mean, I don't see that as an issue.
Wait, you can't be infinite and create finite?
No, you can be infinite and create finite beings. Yeah.
But
so then if he can create a finite entity, right? Okay. How about I reverse the analogy?
Sure.
Can a finite being enter into the infinity of Allah?
That's a strange question. What do you mean by the infinity? Like his essence?
I'm reversing it. So if Allah can't enter into a finite object, can a finite object enter into Allah?
I mean, for something to enter Allah, it just doesn't really make sense. I mean,
you'll enter the eternal abode of whatever Allah is. Right?
Logically, yeah, sure. Logically, there's no issue with something finite.
Right.
Yeah. Like
so
something
that
finite
means
entering
you're entering into whatever. In other words, you're going beyond the seven heavens, so to speak. Right. So if he can't, so notice I'm able to do something somehow what Allah can't do in the reverse way. I would find it more logical for God to enter into my space rather than me to enter into his space. That's more logical.
So the question you just asked earlier, can something finite enter an infinite thing, right? I think there's an issue with that, just because that's not really the reality of what the reality is, so Allah is an infinite being in a sense, and to be honest, Salafis don't usually use the term infinite. It's not the right term to use.
Sure.
For Allah,
I'll go along with whatever term you want to use, like omni. If you want to say omni, or I don't know. Yeah.
No, so he'd be all powerful, I guess. It's not infinitely powerful.
Omni being, let's just say all, like
sure,
all, yeah.
So if we go with that, so you're saying, can, let's say, me and you enter into God? That's your question, right?
Can we enter God? Or can we enter into God, or can we enter into ontologically what?
I feel like the question isn't really worded properly. I don't understand what you mean by entering God. That's
because
an issue with the question.
That's the simplest I can make it with respect to your statement that it's illogical that God can't enter into
our dimension.
Object.
Yeah. But
Because
So,
if he's created our dimension,
hmm,
so for example, you may know about the famous flatland analogy that physicists use all the time. Like you have two-dimensional flatlanders. I'm a three-dimensional object.
hmm,
If I were to enter the plane of existence, notice I have the ability to enter the plane of existence, but they can't enter into my plane of existence because they're stuck at 2 dimensions. They have
hmm,
to transform, add an extra dimension to make it 3D, to then go, oh, hey, Rob, instead, if I'm entering their plane of existence, which I can because I have the power to because of that extra dimension, if I enter in, what do they see? They just see a cross section. In this case, if I use a finger, they just see a circle appearing because it's a cross section of my finger. Say
hmm.
if I put 3 fingers in, then that's 3 circles. Notice that just with the difference of 1 dimension, I am woefully incomplete to them, but entering their dimension does not nullify my omni attributes. I'm still me. I'm not suddenly trapped in 2 dimensional flatland. I'm just entering in. But they
Okay,
can't
yeah.
enter into my realm.
Right. So the issue with something entering into a lower dimension, you could say, or existence. So your example here, you said you can get 3 parts from one 3-dimensional being, right? So,
Oh,
but
potential near infinite uh, variations of who I am due
right,
to a limitation of 1 less dimension entering the plane. Yeah.
right. And would you say those 3 circles, okay, from your example, would you say
hmm
those are taken as parts of the
No.
3D?
No,
It's not a part.
it appears as parts. Depends
Hmm.
on the point of view, which the flatlander's point of view or my point of view.
But hasn't the points been divided into parts? You've divided you're able to divide the 3-dimensional object into the 2-dimensional object and have 3 parts.
Not not necessarily because I'm still a 3 dimensional being. Uh, um, Transitioning through. I'm using that word carefully here. Transitioning through a 2 dimensional plane, but my ontology. So in other words, say these fingers, right? They look like parts. But in this example, I am a complete whole. I'm not divided up. I am who I am. But since I'm entering into a lower plane of existence, now it's appearing like I'm starting to divide up. But that's based on my autonomy in choosing what part I like to show. But the flatlanders can only perceive like literal, like what you call parts, not realizing that those so-called parts are all interconnected to me as a whole, regardless of my shape. I could be the weirdest looking shape possible. The point is I'm still one complete ontological whole at that extra dimensional level.
Okay. So that's fine. I understand the point, but still the capability of, so you're saying that it's a 3-dimensional object, right? And anything that's limited by the dimensions it exists in can be divided. It's a potentially divided, right? It can be divisible because you can just take part of the dimension and just part of that dimension and say, oh, look,
If
that's a
you
part.
if you want to extend this out and suggest that there's higher dimensions than me, which there are, the universe is at least 10 dimensions, then I mean technically I'm a 10 you and me are 10-dimensional beings. It's just that we spatially see in 3 dimensions. But the point is, yes, we can cut each other up if we want to, because our our ontology and the universe allows that sort of function. But in this example, what I'm trying to demonstrate to you is, imagine there's no higher dimension than 3 spatial dimensions, and there's no lower dimension than 2 spatial dimensions. So literally, I'm a god, and I'm the only existing 3-dimensional being, so to speak, to this 2-dimensional flatland people. So I'm literally like a god, a deity to these people. From their perspective, which is our perspective to God, so from their perspective, we are in their shoes. we are limited to just those spatial dimensions. And if suddenly we are seeing phenomena like, oh my gosh, a circle is appearing here, but then simultaneously there's 3 circles appearing here, and then people debate the issue. I'm of the church of the 1 circle, and I'm of the church of the 3 circles, not realizing that there's this being with a lot more ontology going on than just my finger sticking in. So, but this is not the issue that I'm discussing. I'm discussing, notice I have the ability regardless to enter, but they can't enter into my realm to go, oh, no, it's, there's fingers and there's a hand and there's a face. But then in your belief, you said that you do believe that you will enter, and see Allah's face and so on, which is again like a flatlander, literally upgrading from a 2-dimensional ontology to a 3-dimensional ontology in order to then see my face. That's the same situation. So I'm asking you, how is that possible? So if Allah can't enter in, but yet somehow you're able to enter to his level?
Right, okay. So my position would be, first of all, there's no entering into God, first of all, because God isn't a spatial or, spatial
Sure,
or physical.
I agree with you on that. Yep.
Physical entity, right?
Mhm.
So you can enter the presence of God, which we can both agree on, right?
Mhm.
But that's also what I was thinking about with the raising up to me verse, right? So you're being raised up to the presence of God while you stay in creation, right? That's the position I would take. And just for what's it called? The example you gave, Rob, about the two deers and the 3 deers. That's just a hypothetical situation that cannot be applied into reality, because God isn't a dimensional being which is limited by any kind of dimensions. That would entail contradiction to his, all powerfulness, right? So I just feel like
Actually, just quickly, when you deny omnipresence, now you're able to have a dimensional deity. If he's omnipresent, there's no dimensions. So the fact that you said there's no, sorry, Allah, go for it.
Put a comma right there. Got to read out some super chats. So we have the Nate H2 who says, guys, I have one question. Surah 65 verse 4. Is it in the past or does it still apply today? That, even though that's not what we're talking about today, but it's still a good question. I would say that it's applied today according to the consensus of scholars, but that's another stream. We have Jenkins here. For the Muslim, could you list things in the Bible that are unbelievable, as you believe things in the Quran that would be unbelievable logically? I'm confused about why I choose the Quran over the Bible. So I guess he's saying, can you list some things that are in the Bible that are logically unbelievable, that logically don't go? Because he's confused on why you would choose the Quran over the Bible, why he should choose the Quran over the Bible.
Like, for example, the first thing that comes on top of my head is Moses' sister, Miriam, is the daughter of Hannah, according to Surah 3, I think. And then because Hannah says, I'm about to have a child, and it's a female, it's Mary, and that exact child then gives birth to Jesus. So was Mary alive during the time of Moses? Because Hannah was the wife of Imran, and that's an anachronism that I've yet to have a proper explanation to. So the equivalent
I know what
here
you're talking about. Yeah.
Is there a biblical equivalent? Yeah.
Right. I think you're referring to Bint Amran, so the daughter of Imran, right?
Yeah.
So I would say the Qurayshi Arabic, bint, or so bint would mean daughter, right, in literal meaning, but in Qurayshi Arabic it would mean from the seed of Imran, you could say.
But is Hannah who's Imran's wife? What's her name?
I can't remember off the top of my head.
Because according to Jalalain and all the tafsirs, it's Hannah, which Muhammad, by the way, confused with the Hannah of Samuel. But, you know, putting that aside, apparently she's the wife of Imran, and she's having a conversation going, I'm expecting a male child. A female child is born. This female child is called Mary, and as you keep reading down, that same Mary gives birth to Jesus. But hang on, Imran existed during the time of Moses. And then you have, I kid you not, a legend that Mary's body was preserved for 1500 years in order to give birth to Jesus. Like, to try and get around that, that anachronism.
Yeah, I mean, that's like completely unbelievable, and I don't think any of the scholars or even the Muslims at the time of Muhammad would even think of that. Maybe it's just a misunderstanding from your part. I just don't see that as viable or liable. Viable.
Just to read out this last one from Jenkins again, he says, good evening, everyone. I couldn't make it out to San Diego on my visit out west. You came here to the west, and you didn't come to San Diego. Wow. Kafir. Next time for sure. Yeah, whatever. My heart's broken. Well, thank you so much for your gifts. We appreciate you so much. We have the Nate too. He says, thanks, Godlogic. Thanks for your answer. God bless you guys. Yeah, I got you, Nay. I got you always. Okay, so let's continue, guys, with
Godlogic, sorry for like taking over the stream. I'm not. Yeah, because I was talking. You were talking with your Muslim
open discussion. It's open discussion about the subject. As long as Adam doesn't mind, it's cool. If Adam wants y'all to shut up, then
I'm cool.
I will say this, Adam, just quickly on the whole dimensional thing, just to speak here as a Christian.
Mm-hmm.
You are missing a vital data point in your theology that the Christians have that you don't have, and this is why we have no problem with God entering the creation. Again, to come back to that flatland analogy, notice I'm having, like, in this case, an extension of me, so to speak, reaching in. In Christian theology, that extension is Jesus. He's the second person of the Trinity, is the one that is able to be the mediator between the Father, who's invisible, and, the creation. So then the Christian message is that since there's an incarnation that does take place, the gospel message then, ultimately what salvation is for a Christian, is not just the sin issue. It's not just, you have to stand justified before God and blah blah. It's all the more how, because there is a philosophical and paradoxical problem. How can, if God creates creatures, at the end of the day, these creatures, he wants these creatures to be in direct fellowship with him, but ontologically, how is that possible? Because see, they're creatures, they're creation. So if he enters in, so it's like me entering flatland. Now, say there's a flatland circle, right? Like a person. Let's just say it's a circle. The flatland is a circle.
Mm-hmm.
The Christian message is that in my sovereignty and in my incarnating into the flatlanders, I become a circle, right? Hence the cross-section example. And then through my power, since I'm a dimension above, I can infect flatland with my divine resurrecting power to then cause whoever chooses to then transform into 3 dimensions and then have fellowship with me face to face. That's the Christian message. So in Christ, to be conformed to his image means then what Christians call theosis or glorification, and then you can fellowship with the Trinity in the new creation. You see that mechanism, so to speak, I've asked Muslims what's the mechanism of how Allah saves, and they've told me straight it's a mystery. We don't know.
Mm.
But the Christian message is that that is our, at least at least in our religion, that is the mechanism to make us go, oh, okay. And if that's the case, then that's the case. Like that. In other words, at least there's data points to work with. Whereas in Islam, it's just Allah knows best. It's a mystery. Just obey Allah and hope for the best.
And
So I'm after the data point, is what I'm saying.
yeah. And
Hold that thought really quick, Adam. Hold that thought. Pro-life Chloe thinks. She says, "Look at these handsome brothers of mine, Avery, Chris, and Rob. I think it's an OG Quran only Christian thing. LOL. Good to see everyone. I don't think original Quran only Christian thing. I don't think that Rob has converted to original Quran only Christianity. I don't think he's converted. I think he's still a disbeliever. With his sporadic.
Because I'm all the way far out here in the pillars of creation, enjoying the James Webb Telescope taking a photo of me. So yeah.
No,
I haven't heard his shahada yet.
Yeah, I haven't either, and so
my shahada is you are the only true God and Jesus,
whom you've sent. Right?
You're almost there.
Almost there. And see, but that's what the original Quran affirms. So,
yeah.
So
yeah, it would be there is only one God, and that is the true triune God, and Jesus Christ, whom He had sent.
Amen. Yeah. So we'll work on Rob. We're working on his spirit. His heart is still a little diseased, but we're working on him. So yeah, thank you guys, all of you guys who send and support in the stream. You guys are really blessing the stream right now. Guys, we got almost 200 people watching, and we only have 130 likes. What is going on?
What? 130 likes and almost 200 people watching.
Like seriously.
Come on now, people. If y'all hadn't hit that like button, you know what I'm about to say. You secretly kissed that black stone.
The Muslims out there, smash the like button as well for allowing such discussions.
Also,
come on,
Adam,
man.
Your name's Adam, right?
Yeah, it's Adam.
This is Adam. Honestly, I'm not into polemics and sensationalist discussion. I'm into just good, straightforward.
He likes this. This is his
style. So this is good. I appreciate your cordial discussion on this.
You should have been here yesterday too, Rob. We had Jalil on here who was also pretty great in his demeanor and like interacting with points. Not doing no running or just dealing with stuff directly and having a good conversation. It was awesome. So. 2 days in a row, man. God has blessed us with 2 incredible guests. So hopefully he brings us more.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, go ahead. Keep refuting Rob, man. I'm having fun.
Yeah. So your idea of this kind of mechanism, did you get this from scripture, or was it just your own? Oh, okay, right.
And also, just to clarify, my journey into, I was an atheist. My journey into Christianity was using a lot of the analogies that we take for granted in movies like, say, The Matrix. Because what happened was at my and you know where I'm going with this, right? Like Neo would not know he's in the Matrix unless Morpheus enters in. Right. So now, have you seen the third Matrix movie?
No,
the
not
one where Neo fights all the Smiths.
Oh wait, no, I have. Yeah, I've seen that one.
Okay, fantastic. That is a perfect illustration. Remember so he's connected to the machine mainframe. So that would be the analogy of the Father, right? Neo's Jesus, and then Smith infects Neo, and then the machine mainframe, because now he's connected to Smith. Smith in this case could represent Sim. With that blinding light, he extinguishes all the Smiths, and then the Matrix resets. Like, that is literally the Christian message in a weird Matrix way of doing it. But that is it. Like again, that's the economy of the Trinity. You have the Father, the Son, and the Spirit, and they're all working simultaneous. And it's the Son through, the body that's dying, but then it's the Logos or the Word or the second person that then resurrects the body, and is then able to cause resurrection to practically everyone, past, present, and future, because he's not only omnipresent, he's omniscient, because because he's above time itself. So that's a pretty massive, pretty awesome promise. And the movies like The Matrix utilize that as in their own way. But my journey into the faith was, I asked two questions. If God exists, what's the most efficient means he can demonstrate he exists? And the second one was, once he demonstrates that he exists, what's his solution to this death and suffering and entropy and decay and all that? So I hypothesized, being a fan of The Matrix, I hypothesized, what if he were to just enter in and say, hey, here I am? But then I realized that would be pretty cool the first time, but then that becomes common after a while. It's like, oh, there's God again. I would then become a believer or a Christian, or like a follower, worshiper of God, if there's some sort of thing he does to demonstrate the logic of why reality even exists to begin with, and why even he exists, and so on. And the Christian message made the most sense to me, that there's this kenosis, this entering in to do something with that mechanism. It's not like he's just entering in to show off. He's entering in order to cause salvation to happen, whether you like it or not. Just like, again, Neo going into the Matrix because he cares about the people in it, and all that stuff.
It's a terrible analogy.
Yeah, I mean, I see the connection though.
Hurry up and refute him.
So, right. So you're saying that the reason God enters his creation is for salvation, basically. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So is God's entering into creation necessary for salvation, or can he do it any other way?
It's necessary, and here's why. So, and by the way, this is going back thousands of years of philosophy as well. Like, say, Leibniz, the mathematician, he proposed a thing known as the best of all possible worlds. That in itself is dependent on prior patristic writings and philosophers. And like, you may know about Plato's cave, the allegory of the cave. His prisoners chained to the wall, and they only see shadows. Again, the Matrix draws on these.
Can you answer the question?
Yeah, the point. So the point is,
you're running.
If God creates, he can't create a perfect thing. Why? Because he's by default perfect. Whatever, and then if you want to put another word next to perfect, say omni. So you can't create an omni being, because he's the only omni being there is. If he was to create notice the paradox in that statement. Create an omni being. How can an omni being be created? Like, So whatever he creates is finite because it comes into existence, and then by default, if it's finite, it's less than him, which then means it's not perfect. It's imperfect. It's corruptible. It's prone to decay. Finally, it'll just die. Then the Christian message is that when Jesus comes on the scene and explains why he's done what he's done, you have statements like, the first creation wasn't God's plan all along. It's the second creation that's God's plan. The first creation was the mechanism to bring about the second creation. The mechanism is that since he creates, and that by default it's finite, then he enters in and then causes glorification to it so that the second creation is possible.
Rob, is it necessary for God to enter into creation in order to offer salvation?
Yes, because it's a two creation model according to Christian theology. You need creation 1 in order to get creation 2, and hence it's necessary to enter in. By default, it's necessary.
So, what is creation 2?
Glorification, theosis, face to face with the triune God through Jesus.
How do we accomplish that?
Jesus incarnating in, and then we are able to conform to his image through faith and blah blah blah, because of his work that he's been able to do. by descending down in order to then fill all of the heavens, as Ephesians 4 and Romans.
Right. Why did he
11.
have to do that? Why did Jesus have to incarnate and come down and do that in order for us to achieve this creation
Because if Jesus was to create omni beings, there would be no need to descend down to then elevate them up to an omni attribute.
But why can't he just
if you already started with a perfect creation, there's no need for the cross and everything that transpired.
But why not just snap his fingers and, like, why go on the cross? Why do all that? Why not just snap his fingers and go?
Because if he's snapping his fingers, how? Okay, so if God were to then grab people to his level, they would just perish in his glory. There has to be this mechanism of God entering and infecting the creation with his ontological attributes, which is what we call the resurrection, so that then that's possible to happen.
That's a limitation right there.
But yeah, why can't God just make just glorify everything or glorify us without him coming down and infecting us with his attributes? Why can't he just infect us with his attributes with the snap of a finger and we be ready and available to make that next step in that glorified state?
Yeah, and then that's going back to square one. Like, why not just go, Avery, you're in my presence with a snap of a finger, meaning he's already created you glorified just like that, which means but that's illogical. How can you create an omni Avery?
No, but look, you're saying, Rob, you're saying that he has to come down, infect us with his attributes, and basically transform us to be in that next state, in that glorified state, right? That's what you're saying. So why is it necessary for him to come down in order for him to glorify us? Why can't he just glorify us, like, with a snap of, like, obviously now I'm in a corrupted state, right? I'm in a corrupted state. Why couldn't he just snap his fingers and transform me into where I am now available to be in his presence now?
Well, actually, if I may interject real quick. Hello, thank you for bringing me on again.
Hi,
and
Assalamu
alaikum to the Muslim in the chat.
Not to us.
I want to make this.
Well, I want a salam.
Yeah.
Walaikum.
Where's my salam?
Walaikum. So I want to make the distinction real quick because I think this is a really big difference between Islam and Christianity is this wording here. So in Christianity, you use the term what's the word? God sharing his glory with you. But in Islam, we say that he showers us with his mercy. So they're two different things. Because if you were to say share their glory, that's like sharing an attribute of Allah. But if you were to receive his mercy, that's out of his permission. So it's like two different things. So if you were to rephrase the question, how does the God in Christianity share his glory with you would be a better question.
The sharing, there's no blending or there's no mixing. It's again, the fancy word is the hypostasis of the second person and this created thing. So he has an infinite thing and a created thing in hypostasis. And so, but then the infinite thing is above the created thing, and because of that hypostasis, there's a transformation up. So, like 1 Corinthians 15, Paul clearly speaks about putting on the incorruptible. You're sown a physical dust-like creature, but you're raised like the spiritual man in heaven, or you're raised in that resurrection life. There's this lifting up, this transforming up from one ontological state to the next, so that, because if you're conformed to the image of his Son, that's the only way we can be in the presence of God, justified, and because if God says you can't see me and live, how else are we going to be in the presence unless we have some sort of clothing, as 2 Corinthians 5 says, we're clothed with an eternal house built not with human hands, right? that's why it's necessary. There's no other way I can't think of any other mechanism for this God to utilize to be in his presence. The Christian model makes the most sense out of all the models I've seen in regards to this process.
So when you say in his presence, is that the same as receiving his mercy? Like, can you, like, not, and can you because sometimes in Islam we say that we have witnessed Allah, but by his actions or the effect or like what takes place out of his mercy, but not that we've literally seen him. And so I guess the kind of example we would give to fix this kind of, patch this kind of confusion between I'm sharing the glory, but I'm not exactly God, but I'm also divine in some way.
Mm-hmm.
In Islam, we would just say, once you say the Shahada, you're receiving his mercy and you are in light of his mercy by being witnessed as a believer. So in that sense, you could say you're being showered of his mercy, you're being purified, your soul is wiped clean. And so in a sense, he does snap his fingers and then you do become in a higher, better state, but you're not leveled to a place above your human creation. You're not leveled to a sense of like divinity.
Jalil, I need your help. Adam, you too. We have 238 people watching. We don't even have 200 likes on the video right now.
I like the video already. Okay, you don't have to.
I need you to get them to do their.
Okay.
You got to get the Muslims to do the thing here.
Okay.
I need you to address.
Remember, I'm representing the Muslim community.
Mm-hmm.
Not going to be any dancing monkey for this Christian stream. Okay, so anyone that does respect the Muslim community and the Muslim ideas and us bringing to the table, trying to push back and find some common ground between us, please make sure you like the stream and help support future conversations like this.
Come on now. That's a personal shout out from a Muslim. So like the stream, guys. We got 245 people in here now. Let's get these likes to 240 likes. What are we doing? We need the likes in order for it to show up on the recommendation. All right. So if you're in here and you're listening to these voices and you're listening to Adam and Jalil absolutely refute Rob from Sentinel Apologetics, hit that like button, smash it, do whatever. And we also got Hunter in the house too, man. He hasn't said a word yet.
Hunter, you better join in.
I'm right here.
Yeah. All right. So we're right there now. We're basically at 200, but let's get it up to 240. Come on, we have almost 250 people in here right now. Let's get these likes up, man. If you guys like this discussion and you like these streams, you guys, if it's a blessing to you, please do a brother a favor. Smash that like button. We made it to 200. All right, let's continue.
Can you remove the super chat just so I can see the people's names? I don't remember.
You can't see the names aren't on display.
Yeah, we don't have names on.
How do I get the names?
Well, if you take off the super chat, then it shows the names again.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what's going on. There we go.
So okay, so your
I
wanted to say real quick, Rob, one of the names. Sorry, what?
I said I didn't know that this whole time. I'm like, where did the names go?
Oh yeah, it's a weird. I don't know why it does that.
Was it whenever I put a comment up?
So Rob, just to let you know, one of Allah's names is the Humiliator. Al-Mudil.
Humiliator.
Prove it.
So just because you're in the pillars of creation, you're not safe. Your arguments being exposed.
Yeah, that's
thinking you're far away in the distance. Okay, but yeah, I think I made my point.
No, that's why my clothes are glowing right now. So it's
okay. So I think I made my point. How I think there was a confusion a little bit before, kind of mixing between sharing his glory
Yeah,
versus
I think
receiving his
I
mercy?
think
Wait, my
the
point,
key.
my question, or Adam's question wasn't. I feel like wasn't
Yeah.
answered, which
Yeah.
turned into my.
I wanted to go back to whatever Adam's point was.
Well, so I want
Well,
Rob to answer.
Okay, I'll.
So I think the question was, can Allah
Hold on, Julio.
can you receive Allah's mercy without entering creation?
Slow down. I want Rob's about to give something.
Surah. I'm reminded of Surah 40 to 51, either 50 or 51, that says that Allah can only communicate through so many variations of things, and one being through a hijab, like a veil.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, I remember way back, this is when I first started learning about Islam and interacting with Muslims, back in like the Pal Talk days. This is like 5-6 years ago. I asked them, I was like, okay, so why is there this veil or this hijab? And they said, because when you read the tafsir and the hadiths and so on, Allah's glory is such that the mountains will melt and the creation will melt if he doesn't have this hijab. So it shields him, so to speak, like a partition. So then I was like, okay, then ontologically then, how does this hijab able to withstand Allah's glory? And they said, because Allah gives it permission. Now, but then this is when I countered and I said, but if it gives it permission, then it's on the same ontological or ontology basically to be equal to Allah. So now you have two Allahs. And they said, no, that it's a creation, it's a creature, but it's just been given permission. That just makes no sense whatsoever. No Christian, Orthodox Jew or Christian would imagine, in this case, say Jesus, because if Jesus is the hijab, so to speak, of Yahweh, right? For Jesus to be a mere creature that's able to withstand the glory of Yahweh, Jesus has to be that second power or that second Yahweh, or the Son, to be on the same level, but then at the same time to be the one that reveals the invisible God. Ergo, if you and I are going to be in the presence of God, and see him face to face, and according to your theology, we'll see Allah face to face, I expect some sort of mechanism where Allah himself comes down, tweaks tweaks this created order because it's a finite thing. And how does he tweak it? By literally joining his nature to it, and then bring it to his level. That's the Christian message. I can't explain it any other way. Like I don't understand why that makes.
Can I ask a question?
Go for it.
So you're saying that when you basically go to heaven, or your version of heaven, you change into the second was it second creation or second? What did you say it was? Second. I can't remember.
In Christ you are. So the second creation, or the brand new creation, like at the end of Revelation, the new heavens, new earth. You have this depiction of the joining of God and his created order as being all in one tent. It's this unification. It's this what Christians call the marriage supper of the Lamb. It's this unification now. There's no more a dividing wall, so to speak, between, say, heaven and God up there and earth and humans down here. Now it's all one.
So you become God.
But for that, sorry?
So you become gods, basically. We have the same attributes.
That's the Athanasian Creed, yes.
What?
Okay.
God became man so that man may become divine. That's the Athanasian Creed. That's part of the Nicene Athanasian Creed.
What does the Athanasian Creed say?
Well, the Athanasian Creed is more Trinitarian in scope, but Athanasius, that's one of his favorite or famous. This is part of theosis, glorification.
Rob,
sounds
you may
like
want
Gnosticism.
to.
Like Hunter's familiar with, like if Hunter,
Yeah, Rob,
in his
hold
own.
on, Rob. Explain theosis first, because you just threw everybody for a loop.
Okay, theosis. So there's this thing called deification, theosis. So like 1 John 3:2, what we will be like has not been revealed, but when we see him, we shall be like him, and we shall see him as he is. Like the New Testament, I mean Romans 8, we'll be conformed to the image of his Son. 2 Corinthians 5, we're going to be clothed with an oikaterion, a heavenly dwelling that is not made by hands. We don't become Yahweh, but there's
Right.
but
Please
in
verify.
hypostasis
Yeah.
with just to clarify, we don't become the creator.
We
You
take
shared
the
the
place.
attribute.
So we're not gods. You're saying that
Right.
we possess some type of divine nature, though.
Think of, for instance, Rob, you may want to explain how we take the place of the divine council.
Yes, so this goes into ancient Near Eastern Old Testament stuff about the divine council. That's let's just keep it simple, the angelic council of God. Hebrews 2 very carefully says God doesn't choose to save the angels. Literally, Hebrews 2:5. The coming world is not for the angels. The coming world is for beings lower than the angels. And then the author quotes Psalm 8. And how is the coming world for beings lower than the angels, which is you and me? Hebrews 2 says, because he himself became lower than the angels or the gods, in order to then glorify Abraham's descendants up above, even above the angelic realm, to then be face to face with the Father. So when the seraphim can't see the Father, right, that there's two wings to cover their eyes, you and I in Christ, in that glorified state, can actually see the Father's face. That's Revelation 22. But it's because Christ is the mechanism. We are in Christ in order to be able to do that. In Islam, it's a mystery. How do we see Allah's face? At least with the Bible, there's an explanation why we can see his face.
Okay,
I want to make a quick clarification.
Hold on.
Okay.
So with what you said, man, because what threw me off was when you said yes, because they asked, "Oh, you guys become gods?" Then and you said yes. So
I'm still fine with that phrase "gods," by the way, but that's a whole different discussion.
But not so you don't mean gods as in Yahweh, as in how?
No.
I think we need to define what God is.
Okay,
so like a demigod.
No.
Yeah.
I'll explain. I'll explain.
Rob, you threw him for a loop.
You got us all shook, Rob.
I'll explain the concept of God, like semantically. The word Elohim or Theos, for an ancient person, it's a place of residence term. So Yahweh is an Elohim, Satan is an Elohim, Samuel, that was conjured up by the witch of Endor, he's an Elohim.
Oh, right, yeah.
What Elohim means is, so when we translate that as God or gods, but the word itself just means your location, where you are. So if I said I'm an Elohim, you would say no, because I'm still physical in this reality. But if I said it would be equivalent to me saying if I said I'm a ghost or a spirit.
Get your stones
That's
out.
what, linguistically, that's what people were thinking of these words. So Yahweh is an Elohim, but no other Elohim is Yahweh because they're created Elohim. They're creatures. They're not ontologically at his level.
What's the difference between Yahweh as Elohim and a different Elohim?
They're all in the
Yeshua.
non-material, in the other spiritual, supernatural dimension, so to speak. That's what what clarifies them as Elohim.
Like, for example, when the Witch of Endor conjured up these spirits of Samuel for Saul the king. This isn't the actual word that's used for Samuel's spirit is Elohim in the text. So this is where Rob's perfect example can be used, where God, Yahweh, is Elohim, but not all of Elohim is Yahweh God, to put it in perspective.
Yeah.
Ultimately,
so
when he talks about it, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, when Yahweh says, there's no other God beside me, right? There's no other Elohim beside me. It's not saying there's literally no ontological existence of an Elohim beside me. It's an incompatibility issue. It's like there's no one comparable to me at the same level.
Because
it's not denying the existence of other Elohim.
Yeah.
What?
The same. Wait, got logic. The same example is used for Babylon as well. And the same type of rendering and how there are no gods besides me, the same is used for Babylon as well, just a few chapters later in the same structure of sentence. But what
There's
we
no other
actually
nations
know
beside me. Yeah.
exactly.
There's no other
But
what?
yet we know
Okay.
no other nations besides me. But we know during the time of Babylon there were other nations. So the comparison there was exactly that, the comparison and likeness of the nation. And the same, it literally almost word for word rendering is for God, where he says there are no gods beside me. In that sense.
And
I
to clarify to
understand.
everyone in the chat, I'm not a Mormon. I'm a Trinitarian.
Yeah, you did sound like a Mormon just then, as God is.
No,
man,
Mormons have misunderstood this as well. That's so yeah.
Yeah, we have actually talked to Mormons before on Sentinel.
Yeah, I've debated
about
Mormons.
this very concept. Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying that it's talking about comparison. There's no one on his level, no one like him.
Yeah, that's all it is.
No Elohim
Exactly.
like him.
Yeah.
Not that there are no other Elohims.
Yeah, exactly.
Taking it deeper now. So
read Psalm 82. Avery, read Psalm 82 and tell me what that passage says.
I have a quick question.
Yeah, right. You're Elohim.
Hey, Rob, I think I have a better solution for this, I think.
Right.
You've actually did a live stream or a video on your Psalms 82, haven't you?
Yeah, I have plenty of material on that. I don't need to repeat it. You guys can check it
No.
out.
But if you would share that link in the chat, maybe people in the chat would understand more of what you're saying if they get more in depth into what you were teaching in the Psalms 82.
Yeah, just recommend Heiser, Unseen Realm. He has a whole
I'll
book
do
on
that
it.
right now.
Okay, so
and this is a powerful. By the way, quickly, everything I'm sharing here is that much more powerful with respect to why I'm not a Muslim, because even more so because of this stuff, that for the life of me, Islam makes even less sense to me because of what I'm sharing.
Well, I want to relate this because I think there's a similarity between Elohim. So do you believe that Elohim have free will or no? Or are they subservient to Yahweh?
Yeah, they do have free will, because God himself in the Bible says that these Elohim, so for example, Michael, Gabriel, all these beings, they are prone to corruption. And then there's a very interesting, right, and there's a very interesting theological point to make here, that if they're prone to corruption, that means he doesn't trust them. Job 15 clearly says this. And if he doesn't trust them, there's one particular Elohim that God does trust. And Hebrews 1 brings us out. So when God says, to which of the angels did I say, this is my son? No, but there's one, the unique son, the monogenes theos, right? The unique God who God does trust, which means theologically, that means if God can't trust creaturely Elohim, because they're creaturely, that means this other Elohim figure that is not created, who's that? There you go. Now you're deifying Jesus up to the same level, and now this is a powerful argument for the Trinity, where you have the Father and the Son, because there's genuine trust there.
So that Elohim would have to be infallible, right? Because then he wouldn't be able to either lie, or he would have to know everything. So if he were asked something, he'd be able to respond, correct?
Exactly. Yeah.
He would literally
hence,
have to be perfect, but the concept of God is that only God is perfect. Just like Rob was saying before earlier.
And hence the Father-Son, this constant Father-Son language, and hence in the Old Testament, the Lord told to my Lord, or the Son of Man that's approaching the Ancient of Days. Like, there you go. There's your proto-Trinitarianism coming into play. And then when Jesus comes in the New Testament, full-blown, all authority has been given to me on heaven and earth, baptized in the name of the Father, Son, Spirit. Like, bang. You can't get it any more clearer than that.
So Jesus is infallible?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I feel like Rob's hype man right now.
Because the Father trusts the Son.
You are.
The Father trusts the Son, hence he's infallible, and the Son trusts the Father, because the Father's infallible. There's your one-to-one But the Father can't trust a creaturely being because.
But if you're infallible, that means that you should probably be all knowing, then, right?
Yeah.
So is Jesus all knowing?
He is.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he is.
So how is it that he didn't know that the tree had fruit, even though he thought he did? Shocker, right? I bet you never heard that one before.
We thought you never asked.
I've written a commentary on that.
And so what's your excuse?
Okay, my excuse.
Short and easy.
What's happening is Mark, as an author, is writing to a Roman audience, first and foremost. And the build-up is such that it's led to Jesus entering into the temple complex 1 week before he dies. What then happens is that he's demonstrating the fruitlessness of Israel in the same fashion that because if he's not omniscient, I mean, if he was omniscient, then surely at the start of his ministry he would have just come out with it right from the start, like, Israel is fruitless, blah blah. Let's just get this thing over and done with. No, there's a whole 3.5-year ministry that he does, to then finally at the right time, because he keeps saying, "My hour's not yet, my hour's not yet." That in itself is a telltale sign that he's omniscient. So at this right time, he gives a teaching lesson, which, guess what? There are examples of exactly that throughout the Old Testament, of say in this case approaching a tree, or some sort of like what scholars would call like a performance play in a hyperbolic sense, in an exaggeration sense.
Okay.
So that doesn't nullify his so-called omniscience. I think a better question that you could have raised was something like, the Son doesn't know the hour. But then my answer to that would be, first and foremost, notice that he's talking in the context of the destruction of the temple, which he predicted, which is 70 AD.
Well, actually, before we go there, the verse right before the one with the fruit, it says, Matthew 21:18, early in the morning, as Jesus was on his way back to the city, he was hungry. Wouldn't that make something hungry be dependent on something?
But now what you're doing is that's not hypostasis. What you're doing is you're conflating.
So is the 100% God hungry, or is the 100% man hungry?
100% man is hungry, not the God bit.
But Jesus is both.
Yes.
So if Jesus is hungry, it means both are hungry.
No. So this is the hypostasis model. They're not separate, but at the same time they're not joined. That's the paradox of the hypostasis of the two natures.
Well, you say paradox, but I would say contradiction. You can't be both.
Not necessarily.
That would make Jesus dependent on the Father, which when he says,
Because to use the flatland analogy, if I'm entering into the plane of the flatlanders, am I now
I didn't like that
two-dimensional
analogy, actually.
Yeah, what I would say here is that it is not a contradiction, because as Christians say, and as Rob was just saying, the divine nature and the human nature, both natures dwell in the divine person of Christ.
Okay, so Matthew, when he's writing, does he know whether it's talking about the man or the God part?
What do you mean, the man or the God part?
Well,
there is no man part or God part. I don't understand why you're misrepresenting the Christian worldview.
Hungry.
Just a second here. I don't understand why you're misrepresenting our Christian worldview, because we believe that Jesus is 100% God and 100% man, not a God part or a man part.
Well, I can't remember his name, but he said that only the 100% man was hungry and not the 100% God was hungry. So how does Matthew make the distinction between whether
both of those natures
Jesus
do
being
not
hungry
intertwine?
is his human nature or his godly nature?
No, but
how does Matthew make that distinction when he's writing here?
At the same time, it's either A or not A.
No, you see, you're trying to make the assumption that Matthew is making this guess. You're first off coming from a whole different standpoint from what you should be. What Matthew is being inspired by the Holy Spirit. So as I've already
Please be
said
correct.
multiple times, is that there is two natures that dwell in the divine person of Christ, a divine nature and a human nature, and they do not intertwine.
Right. So if he knew that, don't you think he would make the distinction between the divine part of Jesus
Not
and the
necessarily.
human
But
part of
Matthew
Jesus?
does. But Matthew does, like all the gospel writers do.
It just says Jesus.
John,
It doesn't say, you know,
no,
because
no, no,
you
no,
said yourself,
no.
Rob,
Why?
you
Mhm.
said the 100% man was hungry, but not the 100% God was hungry. So how does Matthew know which is which? Don't you think he should have made the distinction?
But did he not already make the distinction right from the first chapter? Which, by the way, just to clarify, Matthew's not the first gospel. So I look at the gospels, their compositions chronologically as well, because I take the synoptic problem seriously. So Mark is the first gospel, and then it's debated which one's next, either Matthew or Luke, either way, and then John's last. So, but the funny thing is that Mark, which Matthew or Luke is using, and then they rephrase certain statements, Mark is actually emphasizing the deity of Jesus through his actions, already acknowledging his humanity. By the time you reach John, John is actually having to defend the humanity of Jesus against heretics that were saying that he's only divine, which were the Gnostics.
Yeah, exactly.
So my question to you is, I think that's my response to your question is, you're not being sensitive to the fact that we're talking about a certain genre and the way, say, Mark communicated literally Jesus as this, he's already human, but there's this inner divine sort of like God being that's dwelling him simultaneous. But it's not laying out a systematized theology of how that works. It's just saying these are the actions that are only associated with Yahweh of the Old Testament. By the time you reach church father, patristic writings, and the systematization of how this works, the semantics of it and so on, and the mechanisms, this is then we throw in terms like Trinity and hypostasis, and
Well,
these are all like
in
the
my
philosophical terms that come
paradigm,
after.
in the Islamic paradigm, we don't have to make all of those kind of assumptions. All we know is that God is uncreated and man is created, and so there's not really any interweaving between the two. And to refer back to the Elohim part, I would say since you consider Elohim to have free will, we would consider that similar to like jinn. Jinn have free will. The angels don't have free will, and so I wanted to also make that distinction that
So
that's
are angels
our
able
sort
to
of.
fall?
No, we don't have any concept of fallen angels because they worship Allah completely and they obey His will. They don't have free will. They're only able to do God's actions. So
Okay, but but that's okay. No, but quickly, are you familiar with what's called the Watcher myth? They're known as the Watchers, the equivalent of the angels, but they're known as Watchers in Jewish mythology.
Well, it's
Because
not in
you have
Islam, so I don't credit it as useful.
But then this is the reason why I'm raising this question is because I can cite you some scholarly papers on this by scholars in Islam that actually say that there's a Watcher myth in Islam to give an answer as to why there are jinn to begin with. So the Bible and the Second Temple Jewish model is that the jinn, which we Christians would call demons, are not the fallen angels. The jinn are the disembodied demi-gods, what the Bible calls the Nephilim, that Jesus has to encounter and work with. In your model,
is it found in the scripture of Islam?
Yeah, but that's my point. Leading up to the Quranic period, you have an explanation as to where the jinn originate from. Whereas in Quran, there's no explanation. Where did Allah create? So
pre-Islamic, it has these watchers, but post-Islam, it doesn't have watchers.
Right.
So why is that relevant to me?
But the question is, who created the jinn?
Allah created the jinn.
There you go. Are jinn evil from the get-go?
No. They have free will.
Okay.
They're able to obey or disobey.
Okay.
Well, actually, this reminds me of the
jinn
point.
lower than the angels?
Um,
They
We
would
don't
have
make
to
a
be.
distinction. I don't think.
we don't actually we don't impose anything like that. All that we do know is that humans are above angels because we're able to choose good over evil. So this is actually the point I wanted to make when I first came on, because I find the deciding factor which brought me away from Christianity is original sin. And I don't believe that is a just or adequate way of viewing humanity. And that doesn't exist in Islam because we are forgiven when we are created. And so we're not inheriting any sins. And thus, when we don't inherit any sins, we're not required to make an atonement of someone's sacrifice. So there's no like requirement of that in Islam. So humans were born with the inclination to believe in God, and we are sinless at birth, and then over time we become either sinful or not sinful. But it's not we're not inheriting sin upon birth that we're able to justify the unjust. Like, we wouldn't look at an infant and be able to say, you're born from this person, you're going to hell. Like, everyone has their own opportunity to show their worship.
But
is that what you guys believe?
Jalil, no. So Jalil, if you're talking about, you're saying that when an infant is born, you don't see. You believe that all infants, if they're born and let's say they die, you believe that they're going straight to heaven.
We believe that humans are flawed because we are creation, but it's not exactly the same as being sinful, like full of like
right.
sin.
So do you believe that an infant is completely innocent of sin, right?
There's different opinions on that.
Very good.
So
I mean, how would what's the opinion on an infant actually having sin ascribed to it?
No, no, I'm not about that. I mean about the child going to heaven or not.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, we can't say for sure whether they are going to heaven or hell. But as a human being, we're not able to judge. We're not able to ascribe sin onto something that is innocent when they're born and have no knowledge of the sin.
How could you say that an infant, if dies, has a chance of going to hell if you're saying that they are sinless? Why would God send them to hell if they're sinless?
Well, I'm saying in the paradigm of the original sin, they do have the chance because they're born sinful.
They have the chance.
Would you agree that if that?
No. There is no.
You don't agree that humans are born sinful.
There is no infant. So, look, there is no infant that's going to, in the Christian paradigm, an infant dies is going to hell or going straight back to God. I'm asking you because you contrasted this with Christianity and now Islam. So I'm asking, in Islam, if an infant baby were to die, will that infant baby go to heaven?
The majority opinion is yes.
What position says no and why?
Okay, so the other position is that they are tested, whether the future self would become a Muslim or not, basically. So if the future self is a sinner and is deserving of hell, then he'll be sent to hell. That's the second opinion.
I think there's a bit of a.
Do you want to know why though that the other view has that? It is because I believe the story of Moses and the gentleman that he was with that killed the young boy because of the what he was going to do in the future.
He wasn't underage though.
No, I know, but they take that as the same type of analogy.
He was underage.
Sure. No, he wasn't. He was a young boy, as in he wasn't an adult.
No, he hadn't reached maturity yet.
He had not.
No, you can't say that. It doesn't say that in the scripture.
He was a child.
Doesn't
It's
say
not child.
child.
It says ghulam. Ghulam is basically a young man.
Okay.
So maybe 15. Kind of a teenage.
Like a young adult.
Yeah, you could say that.
Okay, so sticking with the infant. So you're, according to some of the views, an infant in the afterlife, if died, would be tested in the afterlife in order to test to see if they would have been a Muslim if they lived on.
Well, okay, so we believe that after 120 days there is the ensoulment, and the ensoulment of the human defines their destiny, that defines who they are, who they're going to be. And if a baby is born, and let's say his ensoulment describes him going to hell, that doesn't mean that he will definitely. It could mean that he would live to the day that he becomes sinful and goes to hell. Doesn't mean that he'll be born.
Can you describe ensoulment one more time? What is ensoulment?
Ensoulment is when the angels place the soul within the humans, the created soul, the ruh, into the humans when they're born, or when they're in the mother's womb.
And what does the angel do?
Write their faith.
Writes their deeds, right?
It writes down their future. But
yes,
it's a false comparison to say that just because someone's future would be determined in heaven or hell, that doesn't also say when they're going to die. So if someone is born and Allah knows that he'll be going to hell, that may mean that he'll live to a day where he's able to make that distinction. He leaves the innocence and then goes to hell, but it's not like we're able to make the distinction beforehand. Like, what's the word? We're not able to do it on behalf of Allah.
Yes. So there's a difference here with Allah just knowing what's going to happen to a person, and then Allah determining what's going to happen to that person. There's a difference between Allah's foreknowledge and then being his determination. There's a difference there.
Yeah, this is how we are able to reconcile free will in Islam, because just because he knows the future and everything happens by his permission, humans are still making the choice.
That's not
causal.
Yeah, God logic is correct when he actually said that he's penned it down, he's written it in advance, he's preordained it to happen.
Determined it.
Right, and how we get there is our own choices.
No, it's not. Because your deeds are written. How you get there is even written. You're already... So Allah has it written down, determined what you will do and where you will go in the afterlife. It's not that he just has knowledge of it. He determines it by writing a script.
It's not causal though.
Well, it reminds me of the greatest debate that we're ever going to see, right? The debate between Adam and Moses. When Moses accused Adam of being the one who sinned originally. And Adam said that you cannot blame me for something that Allah had written 40 years before I was created. Mm-hmm. And then it actually said that Adam refuted Moses after that. So isn't that what God logic is saying?
It was written that he would sin, but it was also written that he'd be forgiven. So you can't blame someone for sinning after they've already been forgiven anyway.
Where does it say that?
When after, well, I guess if you want me to pull up the scripture, I could. But basically,
it doesn't say that.
Yeah, basically it says after Adam and Eve ate from the tree.
It's 9 surahs away, God logic.
Yeah, basically.
I know what he's saying. Fataba alayh. Yeah, it's part of the. It is there.
Yeah, Adam does ask for forgiveness. I think it's 9 surahs or 7 surahs later or something.
Yeah, I'm not saying that he didn't ask for forgiveness and wasn't forgiven. I'm saying he said that it was written for Adam that he would be forgiven for this. Like, where does it say that? Because we have it explicitly stated that it was written for him to sin.
Yeah, and it's written for him all his deeds, whether it's good or bad deeds.
Very good.
Good and bad deeds.
So our point is that his deeds, and this was Adam's own point against Moses who raised this issue against him. He said, you cannot blame me for what I did, because what I did was written for me to do long before I was even created. So it wasn't his fault, is what he's saying. I'm not responsible for my action because Allah made me do it.
Well, if this is a hypothetical, obviously. But if he were to never repent, then yeah, probably you could blame him. But that's not how.
No. His repentance after the fact has nothing to do with the action committed in the first place.
Can I ask a question?
Sure, but guys, deal with this. Deal with this.
I can deal with this with a question, I think.
Okay, sure.
All right. So, what difference does it make for writing down the deeds rather than just knowing it? So, since God or Allah is all-knowing, what's the difference if He wrote it down or not?
Because you can't marry foreknowledge and predestination.
Yeah, but it's not predestination. He's writing down his knowledge. That's
writing. No. So like for example, if I'm writing a movie, a script, the difference between me knowing what an author will do and me determining what an author what a character will do. Me as an author, I determine what the character will say, will do, where he will go in the story, what will happen to him, all these things. I write it down. I determine what will happen. That is different than me not writing a script and me just knowing what will take place in the story. Me just knowing. That's the difference. Like for example, let's say I know of the movie already. Let's say I've seen it before or something like that. I just have this future knowledge of it. I've seen it before. I know all things. I know what's going to happen. My knowledge is not what determined the actions of the characters in the movie.
You just said it. It doesn't determine the actions.
The
actions are determined by the first person choice being made.
You literally only heard the second analogy and ignored the first one. I take the whole picture. The first example A is the author, write the script of the movie, therefore determining the actions of the characters and the outcomes of the characters. We all there so far?
Yeah.
All right. So I determined their actions in their future, what will happen to them, yada yada. I determined that by writing down their script.
Yeah, but we don't.
We don't have the script though.
As opposed to, it's not about us having the script. It's not about us having the script.
It is because if we had the script, then it would be determined.
It's
because we don't have the script. We don't have Allah's knowledge.
Was a script written?
Yes, the script was written. In Allah's perspective, everything is written. And our perspective,
it's not about Jalil. It's not about perspective. It's about Allah actually writing down what will take place. That's what the Hadiths teach.
But Avery, we don't know what Allah has written for us, is what Jalil is saying.
Okay, well, how does that negate the fact that what I do is determined by Allah?
Because we don't know, we're able to make the choice. We have the sensation, we have the feeling of making a decision, and Allah has granted us that.
No, so whether or not this is what you guys will be proving, is that your free will is just an illusion, because Allah has written how you would feel. He has written what you will do. He has written your outcome, and all he has, and he's just generous enough to allow you to think that you're making free choices. It's an illusion.
Amen. That's exactly what we say.
No, but
so it's determinism, and free will is an illusion.
So it's an illusion in the sense that it's real to us because we have the decision to make we have the decision to make choices.
Right.
Now, to use a physics analogy, if anyone does here physics and you put, say, time as a variable in the equation, like, say, distance equals velocity times time, right? Like something like that, right? Now, over time, I'm moving this mug, I'm opposing gravity, and I'm doing like an arch sort of like movement, and it's going down to another location. The only way that this can even operate is if time as a dimension property is moving forward unidirectional in a finite way, right? So therefore, I can't know the future. As I'm transitioning this mug over, I don't know what's going to happen. Suddenly the mug could shoot up there, shoot down there. But the point is, I have this intent to move it here. But Allah has already written that it will land up here. It's just that me as a finite creature, I'm having the sensation of the unknown. Like, I still don't know whether it will be there. But, oh, look, see, it is ending up here. So it's, in other words, it's a self-discovery, but it's still an illusion. I don't actually have a genuine freedom to say. So in other words, say if I move the mug, and then I oppose Allah's will by going phew, instead of landing it here. That's genuine free will now.
So guys, thank you for, okay, you said you guys got the point. So that's the difference when we're talking about determinism, right? Determinism, and then versus free will. That God doesn't determine what you do; He just knows what you will do. It just has that foreknowledge, but He didn't determine that you will do it.
Do you have free will?
Determinism.
Yes, and the free will that we have, our God is all-knowing and knows all choices that we would have and all of the endings that would happen in those choices. But we have the choice to still choose into those choices, even though God knows all of the choices and all the endings of those choices. He has not written for us exactly what we will do in those instances, unlike your God.
Whoa.
So your God is not all-knowing.
Hold on, yeah. How is your God all-knowing if He doesn't know which
wait.
choice you're going to pick?
That's what makes it true omniscience, though.
How?
The fact that He doesn't predestine the choices, that's what makes it true omniscience.
But that's a lack of knowledge.
No, it's not a lack of knowledge, guys. He knows the choice that you will make.
So he's willfully ignorant of the future.
Guys, what are you not getting?
He chooses to be ignorant of the future.
No, you didn't hear what I said. What I said is that God knows all of our choices and all of the endings of those choices, all of the different paths, all of the different choices that go with those different choices. He knows all of those all the way down to its end. He knows them, but He doesn't predestine each of those situations for us. There's a difference.
Which choice you're going to pick?
He knows it all. He just said it.
Okay, so that's predestination then.
No, it's not.
That is predestination.
Hang on.
No, it's
no,
not.
the whole point of the matter is that just because He knows it, that doesn't necessarily follow that He's the one that predestined.
No,
yeah, I don't see how you guys are disagreeing with us on free will. I mean, this is pretty basic.
Hunter, are you aware of the David's soul?
Christians and
soul
Muslims
chasing
should be agreed on the fact that we have free will. I mean, I don't.
No, the thing is that you're look, as Muslims, you agree with us that you have free will, but Islam doesn't teach that you have free will. Islam teaches that your actions and deeds are determined.
Here, let me just play a thinking game here with one of the Muslims. Say you committed a sin. Would it be okay for me to say you are the one that committed that sin?
Yes.
Okay, so when Moses said to Adam, you are the one that committed that sin, what did Adam say?
So when who said to who? Say that again.
When Moses said to Adam, you committed this sin, what did Adam respond with?
Adam actually said, how can you blame me for something Allah had written 40 years before I was created? Now, notice where when I said that you sinned, you said, yes, I was the one that did it. But Adam, in your Hadith, actually didn't give the same answer as you. So can you actually respond to why Adam said you can't blame me for the sin because it was written 40 years before I was created?
See, I don't think I would say that's not the way things are, right? That's his own perceived that's his own perception of
because the Hadith then continues to say, and with that Adam won the argument against Moses. So it turned out that he was speaking truth because he refuted Moses by saying what he said.
Hold on, let me see the Hadith.
How would Adam know better than to go against what Allah has ordained for him?
Maybe we
That's-
just know more about that hadith than what you guys do right now.
All right, so let's pull it up so we can all read it together. Let's get all on the same page. Mash Yeshua. Mash Yeshua, everyone?
Go for it.
It's supposed to say Mash Yeshua in return.
Sure. Sorry, I hope that wasn't offensive.
Offensive? They're giving glory to the only true God. What do you mean
Who
offensive?
knew that Rob was Pentecostal speaking in tongues?
All right, let's get this hadithis up.
So I have also a Quran verse that shows that we do have free will.
Yes, you will have a Quran verse that shows that you have free will, and then there will be another Quran verse that shows you don't. So it's an issue. I am well aware that there's Quran verses that imply free will. There's also others that imply determinism. What was I doing?
Well, yeah, we don't negate that. We can have free will and determinism. They're not mutually exclusive.
What?
That's how it works, because Allah has ordained everything. But since we're not all knowing, we're able to make the decision.
Excuse me? Can you please define free will for me?
Having a choice.
Yep.
Having a choice that is already chosen for you, or freely being able to choose that choice?
You know, it's actually freely because your will aligns with the will of God.
But you're not freely doing it because the law had already written it for you.
I could say the same thing for you. God has already known what your choices are.
No, because we have.
No, remember, their God doesn't know the future.
Wait. I'll give one example.
Hey, what was that hadith number, guys? I can't remember it.
I think it's 6614.
And what?
Or there's another one. There's 4738. Oh, Bukhari.
By the way, most hadith science is in light of the Quran, so the Quran will still take precedence.
How many prayers are in the Quran?
Are we turning you Quran only right now?
Can I just give an example before we go into the prayer stuff?
No, we're not. We're not. It was just a little.
The Quran suggests 5 daily prayers, and the hadith suggests how many per prayer.
All right.
So in light of the Quran,
I'm gonna bring up Brother Habib next time. He gonna get you. He's a Quranist that I know.
He gonna hit you with those ayats.
He's gonna get you these ayats, man. What was the number of the hadith again? Where I'm in Sahih Bukhari. Where
6614, I believe.
6614. All right.
Yeah.
All right. 6614.
Oh, yeah, sorry. No, it's 4738. Well, I mean, maybe. There's also that one. Yeah, 4738 as well. There's 2 of the same hadith. I don't know why it's.
Yes, there's multiple. All right. It's still in Sahih Bukhari, though?
Yeah.
All right. So you said, all right, repeat that number again. 4. You said 4738?
Yeah, it's 4738.
4738. All right.
Yeah, it's that one. Yeah.
All right, then let's see if we can find it. Yeah. All right.
Sorry that my lighting's really bad. I'm literally just in my dining room table.
Oh, God bless your heart. All right, beautiful. Here we go. Where's the other one that says written? I like that one that says written. Well, ordained, same thing, but written is just puts more umph on it, you know? Where's that one at, Chris? The one that says written for me before he created me. And it says 40 years. 40 years before I was created.
Before you read this, I'll just quickly say this. In Samuel, you have Saul chasing David. This is 1 Samuel 23, I think. Either 23 or 27. No, can't be 27. I'm pretty sure it's 23. Where God warns David that, hey, Saul is going to come and get you if you stay in this place. And he's going to kill you. And so David goes, okay, then I better move. But he has the choice whether to stay or to move. Now, when he moves, So he does decide to move. Saul stops the pursuit. He just changes course and does something else. Notice that, therefore, you have foreknowledge of events that did not take place. So I just wanted to throw that example there, where you have God having a foreknowledge of events that ultimately did not transpire.
Indeed, brother.
To be honest, Rob, I wasn't really paying attention. I was reading the Hadith.
Oh,
sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. That's all right. Yeah.
If you want to just quickly repeat, I'm sorry about that.
That's what most
No,
people
it's all
do when
good.
he starts talking. It's all right.
At least he admitted he wasn't paying attention.
Other Muslims would have tried to argue, right? Right off the bat.
That's what I was thinking. Like, I would have heard a Muslim come out and be like, "Oh, where does Jesus say I'm God? Worship me."
All right, thanks. Hey, shout out to 100, man. This dude is he's always clutch for this channel.
He's on fire. He's on fire.
I don't know who you are, man, but
we love you, 100.
For real. All right. So here's the one. This is the one I like. All right, then. So it says here, narrated Abu Huraira, the prophet said, Adam and Moses argued with each other. Moses said to Adam, "Oh, Adam, you are our father who disappointed us and turned us out of paradise." Then Adam said to him, "Oh, Moses, Allah favored you with his talked to you directly, and he wrote the Torah for you with his own hand. Do you blame me for action which Allah had written in my fate 40 years before my creation?" So Adam confuted Moses. The prophet added, repeating the statement 3 times. All right, there we guys. We got it. So Adam won the argument by appealing to the deterministic nature of Allah and his predicament. You can't blame Adam. Allah made him do it.
It's so nowhere in this hadith does it say that Allah has actually caused Adam's actions. It says he has ordained it for me, but nowhere is it say he caused it. So there's a difference between causality and just writing down the fate.
Thumbnail right there. That's a thumbnail.
I mean, but seriously though, it's the same thing as having foreknowledge of his choice.
We got Jaleel in the back channel again.
Oh,
yeah, bring him back.
I didn't even notice he disappeared.
Yeah,
Welcome
so
back.
it doesn't matter if he's written it down, his foreknowledge, or he hasn't written down his foreknowledge. He still has the foreknowledge, and you can't use that as, oh, that's causal. It's not causal. He just has the foreknowledge, whether he writes it down or not.
Then Adam has free will.
Yes.
And therefore that statement that we just read cannot be applied.
Sure, no one...
Because...
Then your prophet was wrong in that hadith.
Yes.
Maybe
because
so.
Because then that affirms the biblical analogy I gave with
Saul and David. Whoa, Rob. Whoa. We got to back up just a second here.
Just a second.
I said a statement.
Yeah, which prophet are you talking about?
So your prophet was wrong in that hadith, correct?
The prophet of Islam or the other 2 prophets?
The prophet of Islam.
Okay, right. So the prophet of Islam never actually said that it was correct what he said.
The prophet said...
Yes. Let me just finish.
And then it says at the end, the prophet added, repeating the statement 3 times, meaning he refuted him. He refuted him.
It doesn't.
Come on, Adam.
Okay, can I just please?
Yeah, go ahead, Adam. Come on.
It doesn't necessarily mean it's correct.
Adam!
Refutation doesn't mean it's correct.
Oh man, don't say that your prophet is lying.
No,
don't do that,
no,
Adam.
I'm not saying the prophet's lying. I'm saying the statement Adam said doesn't necessarily mean it's correct.
Adam!
I got a question for you, Avery.
Your prophet isn't accurately representing what he's saying?
No,
Okay.
that's what happened.
So Avery, let me give you an example.
It did happen. He did get refuted.
Okay, guys, let him continue explaining. I'm interested to see like.
Okay,
I want to give an example real quick. So,
Sure.
Avery, you come across a guy who has a lot of tattoos, right? He converts to Christianity. Afterwards, do you blame him for getting tattoos?
Whoa. How does that have any relation?
How do you blame some? Okay, so the
wait, time
context
out, Jalil, please.
The context
please,
here is that
please,
Adam, before
please.
he was given the knowledge that it was sinful, he was made aware of it, and so he repented.
Please.
So how could you blame Adam for doing something that he had no knowledge of?
Please. Here's the question on the table. Did Adam win the argument by saying, you can't blame me, Allah made me do it?
Yes.
Does Adam win the argument by saying that to Moses? Yes?
Yes.
Adam, you with me on that?
Yes, I'm with you.
Oh, okay. So that means that this statement by Adam was correct, right?
Nope.
Then how does he win the argument with a false claim?
Okay. Have you ever seen debates where two instances which maybe some Muslims win a debate and sometimes Christians win a debate? Does that mean both of them are correct?
Bro, no, I've never seen. I'm talking about an argument. We're in an argument.
But Muhammad agrees with Adam.
This is a revelation given to Muhammad.
Hang on. Wait, hold on. It literally says the prophet Adam, repeating the statement 3 times, Adam confuted Moses. So therefore the prophet agrees with Adam.
I'm so lost.
So was Muhammad wrong?
Wait, I don't understand where you guys are saying that he agrees with him.
Well, okay, let's be fair. Confuted does mean to prove the other person wrong. Maybe that's just a misunderstanding of Adam there.
Okay.
Of Babylon. Okay, so the word confuted does mean to prove Moses wrong. Yeah, and I think it's wrong for Moses to blame Adam for doing something that was wrong at the time, that he had no knowledge it was sinful, and he repented. So
wait. Did Allah not tell him not to do it?
He was given a warning not to do it, yes, but because humans have free will.
He has free will. He could choose to do it anyway. Absolutely. The point is that Adam knew not to do it.
He didn't know.
Wait, so did you just said that Allah warned him? You just said Allah.
The Quranic understanding is that Adam was forgetful, and so
we understand what the Quranic view is. But if I walk up to you and I say do, and then you walk up and steal the bag of chips, you knew what was going to happen.
You have to make an assessment.
You knew it was wrong, right?
Okay, so in Islam, you have to make an assessment. You have to be of sound mind. You have to be not. You'd have to be not mentally ill, so you'd have to be able to be aware of your surroundings, your decisions.
The angels worship him.
And you'd have to be reminded or aware of the fact that it is a sin. Those 3 things, and a few other things, are conditions of whether a sin will be written for you. What? And even after the sin is written, it has a possibility of being repented for within the next 48 hours to be removed and turned into a good deed. So just because you tell someone that it is a sin, you can't always take into account that whenever they do that thing, it's considered sinful, because it's a case-by-case basis. If the person is unknowledgeable, of unsound mind, mentally ill, sleeping, whatnot, those are many conditions of which in Islam that we can't.
Was Adam either of those?
Well, in the Quranic paradigm, Adam had forgotten that it was sinful.
Was he mentally ill?
All we know is that he had forgotten.
Well, all we know is that Adam was worshipped by angels.
Allah told the angels to prostrate to them.
Yeah, he must
Avery,
have
can you
had
bring up
something a
that-
little bit better than
that
them.
hadith
You
up
would
again?
think.
Okay, let's just do a thought experiment here, all right?
Wait, before we do that, we need to get the likes up to 300. We got 330 folks in here.
Yes, sir.
Come on, y'all. We going at it in this on this stream. I know y'all enjoying this. So let's get these likes up, ladies and gents.
We're going hard in the paint here, people.
Yeah.
Let's see all that love in the like button.
Yeah. Usually I'm trying to end it at the 2 hour mark. We're almost at 2 hours, guys. Should I keep the stream going? I don't know. Like y'all not hitting the like button, so I think we should end it in about 6 minutes. If we can't get it to past 300.
We'll just let everybody have their last
questions about this.
Oh, people are saying keep it going, but man, why keep it going? We ain't getting. Nobody likes the stream. I'm not convinced that people like the stream, y'all.
We got 303.
Huh?
We're at 303 now.
Oh. So see. Why do I got to do that? Why? No, we're good. All right, we'll keep it going. Go ahead, Rob.
Okay, all right, this discussion, did it actually happen? According to Islamic theology, did it happen?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, where did it happen?
I don't know. It's not been stated where.
In paradise.
I don't remember.
In heaven, right? Because they must be dead
Yep.
to have this discussion, right?
That's the only time Adam and Moses could have spoke. Yes.
Okay.
Well, yeah,
all
the
right.
conversation is happening
Sure.
in heaven, and when Adam sinned, I don't remember exactly where Adam was when he sinned originally.
Okay. I'm not bothered by that. All I'm doing is there's a thought experiment here, because say if a Christian's reading this, obviously, like me, and the word Torah there jumps out at me, and I'm thinking of what I have in my Bible, the 5 books of Moses. All right, obviously the Genesis story is there. Okay. Now, let's pretend we go back in time to when Moses is, he's doing the Exodus, then he's in the wilderness, and then finally he's just before the Promised Land, and just before he dies, he already has, say, the Genesis document with him and so on, right? And we go and meet Moses. He's alive. He hasn't spoken with Adam yet. And we approached him, and we asked him, what did Adam do? I wouldn't be surprised to go along with this if he said something like, our father Adam disappointed us and turned us out of paradise. And then you can actually see the story played through in the Genesis story, right? With the fall and all that. Then Moses dies, and then he goes to heaven, according to this, and is like, oh, Adam, you are our father who disappointed us and turned us out of paradise. Then Adam counters this and says, Allah favored you with his talked to you directly. He wrote the Torah for you with his own hand, hence the 5 books of Moses. Do you blame me for action which Allah had written in my fate 40 years before my creation? So now, if I was to approach Moses and Moses would say, isn't it written that this is what Adam did? This is why we're out of paradise. But then the irony is that Moses goes up to heaven, according to the statement, and actually realizes he got it all wrong, because Allah had already pre-wrote Adam's actions, and that pre-written script, the movie play of Allah, is basically in the Genesis story. And here you have Adam confuted Moses, and then Muhammad himself clarifying and saying 3 times that this is the truth of the matter. So where does Adam have free will? If Allah has already pre-wrote this so-called cosmic script to have Adam do exactly the very actions he would do, thereby, if I were to talk to Moses and ask Moses, what's the Adam story about? Now he can't use that argument anymore because he's been corrected by Adam. So how can Adam be wrong?
I think the point is more focused on the blame rather than the fact that he did it or not.
But that's my point. Is Moses correct for blaming Adam?
No.
Exactly.
So if you look
Allah's
at
the one that
so
calls
check
Adam
out this
to do
hadith
what
that
he
I
did.
put in the private chat. It shows that there's an example where someone is not considered sinful because of their ignorance. So Moses would be
Come on, you
Moses
can't
would
keep
be
saying that Adam was
unjustly
ignorant.
blaming him for something that he did not have knowledge of.
Yeah, you can't keep saying that Adam was ignorant.
That's our paradigm. So I know
he was
Christians
told.
they don't believe that he is,
but hang on, just 1 second. Adam was in heaven first before Moses, right? I mean, chronologically, right? Because Adam died well before Moses. So Adam knows the truth of the matter now that he's in heaven. Moses then comes up and he's corrected by Adam. Why would Adam be telling a lie or something, even though he's winning the argument? But why would he be wrong in a heavenly context when they can see everything and not be wrong at all? Like, there shouldn't be any like misunderstanding.
Well, just because
whatsoever.
Adam is in Jannah doesn't make him all-knowing.
Yeah, I mean,
because he's still a creation.
So can someone lie in Jannah?
There's no motivation for that.
He wouldn't be lying if he was ignorant. So it's not
No,
lying.
but you keep going back to ignorant. Did God tell Adam not to do something?
Yes, but that doesn't.
Okay, then that removes his ignorance.
Remembering it.
That removes his ignorance.
No, it doesn't.
Also, is it not the concept in Islam that no prophet has ever sinned? So therefore has always followed the will and the decrees
Supposedly
of Allah.
Adam had 50 books, right?
Yeah, but they don't call this a sin. They call it a mistake.
I don't know either of those arguments, and I'm not qualified to
So
talk on that.
prophets can still make mistakes and get things wrong.
Sure, Moses killed a guy.
So
Accidentally.
the thing about, I will say this one thing is that if you do something and then it's later revealed that it is sinful, it's not sinful retroactively. It doesn't like look back and say that thing that you did in the past, you are sinful because of it. If the revelation was after that happened. So there's an example of where Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, didn't want to have some sort of honey, but then since the honey is considered halal, he didn't know that he wasn't able to make it.
It wasn't
haram for
honey.
himself, and so it was then revealed
now.
to him
Let's
that
be
he's not
accurate,
able
man.
to.
Let's be accurate. It was not honey.
It was honey.
No, sir, it was not.
It was a certain type of honey.
Oh, no, not any type of honey that normal people eat on their toast and stuff. It ain't.
It was a certain type of honey, all right.
So you're going to try to prove
honey
Islam
not toasted
false because
Cheerios
it's a
either.
different kind of honey?
Oh, it's of the female kind.
Okay, and let's look at the Hadith. You guys are being nitpicky. Okay.
What are we talking about here? I'm kind of lost.
They're saying that...
Is this Surah 66, honey? Or is this...
I'm kind of lost here in this whole mess.
I thought they were being sweet and comforting honey for a second.
The honey is being described as Mary the Copt because that's what the story is. Actually, Muhammad prohibited himself from sleeping with Maria the Coptic. And
where does it say that in this Hadith?
And then Allah in the Quran told Muhammad not to forbid himself something that Allah had made lawful for him.
That's Surah 66, right?
I believe so.
Like the first couple ayahs of 66.
Allah's Sahih al-Bukhari 6972. Allah's messenger used to like sweets and also used to like honey. And whenever he finished the Asr prayer, he used to visit his wives and stay with them. Once he visited Hafsa and remained with her longer than the period he used to stay. So I inquired about it. It was said to me, a woman from her tribe gave her a leather skin containing honey as a present. What kind of jump are you making that this is not literal honey?
So let's.
You can say no all you want, but this is not making any
No. But then
reference
the
to
women,
anything
the
other
story.
than
If you keep
honey.
reading, the story is that they're distributing this so-called honey because he gets gassy and He smells,
No.
basically.
So
Is that
the
the one
thing
you're talking
is,
about, or?
the thing is,
Am I totally lost on this?
it says Aisha
Let's
wanted to make a prank on him by saying that when he ate the flower, it made him smell bad. And so he says, I'll never have this honey again. But then Allah revealed to him, do not make haram, which is made halal for you. And so my point is that because he said to himself, I will never have this again, he's not sinful for saying that because it was revealed after the fact that he's not able to do that. So it's not considered, he didn't sin in that sense. Because he was ignorant of this ruling.
The only honey story I'm aware of is where the women, to not be with him, made an excuse to have this honey. He gets gassy, he smells, so then they make the excuse, okay, you smell, you can't be with me tonight. And then he keeps like, there's like a rotation among the women. Like, that's the only honey story I'm aware of. I don't know any other.
What's the point we're trying to make? Because I'm really confused right now.
Well, this is
we're trying to make. They were saying that Muhammad had sinned.
Let me show you guys. Let me show you guys.
Where?
So look, so this is in Tafsir Jalalain. So hold on, Dash. Thank you for the super chat. Don't get offended by this, Jalil, but this is what he said. He said either Jalil is incredibly deceitful, or just super ignorant of his religion. I am losing patience with his mental gymnastics. So stop the mental gymnastics, Jalil.
Just because our religion doesn't cram into your paradigm doesn't mean it's false. Okay, so let me say this again.
But I want to read the Tafsir.
If you do an action and you're ignorant of it being sinful, and you were later revealed that it is sinful after the fact,
Jalil,
you're not held accountable for the sin that was prior to revelation.
Jalil, we're reading the Tafsir. This is Tafsir al-Jalalain on this verse. He says, "O Prophet,"
Ibn Kathir, since he's the most reliable, the most respected.
Oh, the two Jalals are up there as well. It's not just Kathir. So, it says, "O Prophet, why do you prohibit what God has made lawful for you in terms of your Coptic handmaiden Maria, married a Copt, when he lay with her in the house of Hafsa, his wife, who had been away, but who upon returning and finding out became upset by the fact that this had taken place in her own house and on her own bed, by saying, she is unlawful for me, seeking by making her unlawful for you to please your wives, and God is forgiving, merciful, having forgiven you of this prohibition."
That's impossible.
Hey, Mr. Godlogic, can I read a complimentary hadith from the Sunan An-Nasai?
If you want, yeah, absolutely.
This is from Sunan An-Nasai.
What's the grading?
It is a Sahih hadith. And they can check it. Here's the reference again, guys.
You gotta ask every time now.
Sunan An-Nasai 34:11. It was narrated from Anas that the Messenger of Allah had a female slave with whom he had intercourse, but Aisha and Hafsa would not leave him alone until he said that she was forbidden for him. Then Allah the Mighty and Sublime revealed, "O Prophet, why do you forbid for yourself, which Allah has allowed to you?" Quoting Surah 66:1 until the end of the verse.
Sorry, which hadith? The number? Yeah.
Sunan An-Nasai 34:11.
34:11.
I actually went to a Muslim website and got it.
So whether that happened or not, the hadith about the honey is still valid. It's not referring to anything other than honey.
It's referring to
make a jump.
Married a Copt, man.
Either way, the point, I don't know what even this is supposed to be proving, because the point still stands that he's not sinful for something that he was later revealed that it was not sinful, or he's not sinful for something prior to revelation.
Is it 34:7 or 34?
I think it has a different number again. Sunnah.com. Chris, what's that link?
Yeah, send the link. please.
Sure, just give me 1 second. I'll send it to your text, God Logic, only because I'm on my phone right now still.
Perfect. Yeah, depending on what you're using, the numbering will be different. But yeah.
Can I clarify? Is this, when you're talking about the honey was Mary, and you're talking sexually here? So
there's no distinction being made that is what it means.
But then what
the
about
honey is referring to that?
I've just Google searched it, and there's Abu Dawud 12:2302 that says and I could be getting this wrong, but it says here the Apostle of Allah, peace be upon him, was asked about a man who divorced his wife 3 times. She married another who entered upon her but divorced her before having intercourse with her, whether she was lawful for the former husband. She said, the Prophet replied, she is not lawful for the first husband until she tastes the honey of the other husband and he tastes her honey. Is that the one you guys?
No, that's a different term used. So that just means basically to have an intercourse with them, I think.
Regardless, you failed to prove that
isn't that
Muhammad
what Avery was getting
sinful.
at, though? Like,
I think that's a different one, Rob. I'm not too sure. Avery can
Well, the point of this one,
you failed to provide any evidence that Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, has sinned.
What? No, we didn't. It's literally in the Sahih Hadith, and it's in the explanation, the tafsir of what he did. That he committed.
What did he do?
He committed adultery with Mary the Copt.
It's not adultery.
Yes, it is. What's adultery?
Okay, it's adultery by your standards, but in Islam, it's not the same.
What's adultery?
Adultery is having sex with someone outside of marriage who is not lawful for you.
Who is not your wife, right?
Is not lawful for you.
No, you can have sex with
who your right hand possesses is lawful for you.
Yeah.
But that's not your wife. That's not your wife.
That's what I'm saying. Your paradigm of adultery is different to our paradigm of adultery.
No.
In your paradigm of adultery, a woman who gets divorced cannot remarry, or else she's considered an adulteress.
No, it's not about Jalil. It's not about
marriage.
paradigms.
Yeah,
what
it
happens?
About paradigms.
What happens?
Your definition of adultery is different to Muslims.
This is what happens in Islam. In Islam, bro, it literally changes definitions of words. Like words that have meaning no longer have meaning in Islam.
Things change after revelation.
Meaning, man.
So was Solomon sinning with the concubines?
Yes,
he was.
Okay, so the definition
100% he was.
Let me give you this example. Prior to Islam, in the time of the Bible, the definition of a slave was someone who you are allowed to beat near to death and not be considered wrongful to do so.
This is crazy, Jalil.
Post-Islam, we changed the definition to something that you're not allowed to physically abuse. Is that good?
All right. Nice. Let's go ahead and hit this in a millisecond. Number one, discipline in the Bible with a slave is different than physically abusing this person. And number two, the person who owned that slave, who physically abused that person, was punished. They weren't allowed to do that. They were punished. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth.
If they died.
Let me finish.
Only if they died.
No, stop it. If they died, they got the punishment of capital punishment, which was death. If they injured the slave, they got punished for injuring the slave. They had to let the slave go. If they hurt their eye, they had to let them go. If they hurt their hand, whatever, they had to let them go. And it was an eye for an eye, even with the master. So that's the difference. Now, what happens in Islam according to slavery? I know, millisecond. This is your fault for going to here. In Islam, the master can kill someone's slave, and the result is that the other person can now kill your slave. Like, so let's say I killed your slave. In return, it's not me that gets put to death. My slave can be put to death because I killed your slave. You can kill my slave now.
And you can murder, not disciplining. You're not allowed to discipline a slave.
Let me finish because you wanted to shuffle here, and then we're going to go right back to the topic. And there's a hadith that says, "Do not beat your wives
like you beat your slaves. So do not act like Islam does not allow physical abuse of slaves, and that you're not punished for it. While in the Bible, you are punished for that type of stuff. That wasn't allowed. So let's get back to the subject. No more Muslim shuffles, please.
Okay. So do you have any
Avery,
evidence
can you
to
share
show
my screen?
that hadith you're referring to?
Sorry, Avery.
Prior,
I sent you a text. I have the hadith. It's in Sunan on the side, and my phone's about to die, so I got to hurry up and plug it in.
3959.
3959. That's exactly right, sir.
Got it. Thank you, Chris. Masha. All right, let's pull this up now. Sunan An-Nasai 3959, fellas.
And just when you get it up there, can you scroll down so he can see that it's Sahih?
Absolutely.
So what's the number? Sunan Nisai what?
3959.
39. Okay.
3959. All right, here we are. Yep, it's Sahih. You guys see it?
Nope.
Oh, sorry.
You're not sharing it yet.
Oh, my bad, fellas. I was just making sure you paid attention. All right, here we go. All right, so it's Sahih. Sunan An-Nasai 3959. It says, it was narrated from Anas that the Messenger of Allah had a female slave with whom he had intercourse. But Aisha and Hafsa would not leave him alone until he said that she was forbidden for him. Then Allah, the Mighty and Sublime, revealed, O Prophet, why do you forbid for yourself that which Allah has allowed to you, until all the way until the end of the verse? So,
and just as a correction, or just as to show that I was being honest, if you look down at the bottom under the English translation, it does say Hadith 3411, which was the original reference that I gave.
That's
right.
That's right. That's right.
Right.
Interesting.
Why does it say that though?
Because
it's true in Sahih.
No, the Hadith number.
The number.
Yeah.
The numbering in I would assume that wait, no, because it says Hadith 21, so I don't
Somebody's probably taken it and translated the Hadith in the Muslim world in another English translation, and that is the reference to it from this Sunnah.
Maybe. I think this is a conversation between you and Jalil, because I'm really lost on what the whole point of this is.
Okay, so
the
point that I'm making is that we understand that revelation is revealed in stages, right? Do you understand that?
That's the point. Right, but the only difference between the Islamic claim of that and the Christian claim of that is that the Christians work in the paradigm of the previous revelation. Islam comes in and says, no, the previous revelations have been corrupted over time, and this is the true revelation. Anything that
I mean within Islam.
is
I mean
wrong.
within the time of Muhammad being a prophet. I mean, like at first you were not allowed to come pray when you were drunk. Next it was allowed. Then you were not allowed to drink alcohol at the mosque. Then it made alcohol forbidden completely. That's what I'm saying is revelation in stages. Do we agree that that's how it took place?
I was just going to make the statement real quick. That goes back to the adultery claim, where it's different in the paradigm of Islam versus where it comes to Christianity or Judaism. It's very consistent. But even in Christianity, in that same paradigm, Jesus sets the standard even higher, but still within that paradigm of Judaism. Islam does not. It comes in differently, and that's where Solomon is in sin, but all of a sudden Muhammad isn't. That's outside the paradigm of what previous revelation gave in that respect.
Okay, so your idea of adultery was such that you're not allowed to have sex with someone outside of marriage, which was considered sinful at the time.
if you look
in
at somebody
Muhammad's
just with
mind,
lustful
he
thoughts,
considered it forbidden for him to do until it was revealed to him that it was allowed to have sex with someone which your right hand possesses.
Yeah, that's
Which gives
adultery,
an
man.
exclusion to this rule
yeah.
that anything
So
outside of marriage is considered sinful. So we have the
actually,
example that Muhammad
it's
is not
even
sinful because of it, because of revelation
it's even more
came
strict
after the
than
fact.
that. It's even more strict than that, given revelation from Jesus. He says that if you even look at a person with lust, that's even outside of marriage or inside of marriage. If you look at a person with lust,
Yeah,
you've committed
that's
adultery
totally
already in your
unjust
heart.
in
Yeah,
its own
we
right, but we don't have to go there. I would like to refer back to the
Completely
hadith about
unjust.
slavery. So
no, we do have the
No, we're not on slavery.
that's
we
where we
do
were.
we do have
No.
the thing where if you look
We
with
were
lust,
talking about slavery
adult-
until everything wanted to.
We're
make
talking
a
about We're talking about
comparison.
adultery. We're talking about adultery.
You
It wasn't
wanted to
talking
say
about
that
that.
Islam allows people to beat their slaves.
You brought that up, did you not? Did you not try to attack the Bible and try to shift from talking about adultery and Muhammad committing adultery here with
The point
marriage?
I'm making is that definitions change because due to revelation.
Okay, so stick there. Don't try to go to another subject. Stick here to
Okay, so
you're
the
saying that the
concept of
definition
adultery changed based
adultery.
on revelation, just
Yeah.
like slavery did.
Okay, cool. So in Islam, words don't have meaning, guys. It means whatever deems them.
Well, yeah, because in the context of Moses and Jesus, words changed based on the revelation, correct?
No, words
No.
didn't change.
No,
Okay, so
it's still
before
within
was the Son of
Jesus
God meant someone who
himself
was a
was
righteous
a
person. After Jesus, the Son of
himself.
God means
Oh boy.
referring to Jesus only.
Oh
No,
Lord.
Jesus, literally,
So
John
now-
1:18, the unique God. Literally, you even read this in other translations where Jesus is there's something unique about his begottenness, where he is the unique Son of God, where he is the unique God that is at the Father's side that has made him known. There's something different, or there is a difference between being the sons of God, but there's something unique about Jesus is hidden in his sonship of God. That's the crux of it. We're still sons and daughters of God, but there is a uniqueness to Jesus as the Son of God, because that Son of God that Jesus refers to as himself is God himself. That's
So it used to have one meaning, and now it has two meanings.
No, it doesn't have no. What did I just say? There is a uniqueness to the sonship of Jesus. He's still Son of God, but he's unique Son of God, but still Son of God nonetheless. There's not a difference. He's still Son of God, but there's a uniqueness to him. That's the difference. You're trying to change the word. If hold on a second, if I commit adultery versus if Avery commits adultery, but somebody goes along and say, no, there's a difference between adultery in the definition, even though both still committed adultery. That makes no sense whatsoever. And that's what's happening here when it comes to Muhammad versus somebody like Solomon.
Because you don't accept the revelation. If Avery were to accept the revelation of Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, then the definition would change. But since you don't accept the revelation, your definition is what it was prior to revelation.
No, why?
So the definition, hold on, guys. The definition is not changing.
Simply ask why.
Yes, it is.
I was just gonna say, okay, but hold on. Why does it change in Islam? Just because of the presupposition? Hold on. Just because of the presupposition that Islam is true, so therefore that allows it to be changed? No, that would just be a contradiction, and then it would not be.
The position is that Islam is true. The revelations came to abrogate the prior revelations, and since Muhammad is the final prophet, that is the revelation that we follow. So the definition of adultery in Christianity, if you want to correct me if I'm wrong, the definition of adultery in Christianity is two things. One of them is looking at a woman with lust, which is prior to even any action, and two, it is having fornication with anyone outside of marriage.
And no, anyone outside of your marriage. So if you're sleeping with someone while you're married and it's not your wife or husband, that's what adultery is.
Okay,
or
and I'm saying,
or sleeping with someone else's spouse.
And I'm saying, if
you're saying
if you acknowledge the revelation of Muhammad,
then
that
that's
can
allowed.
abrogate the meanings of the words, which have two in nature. Now we have a meaning of adultery is not anymore.
That's
just
not
looking
true.
at
Yeah,
a woman with lust,
Hello,
because you're
guys.
not
but
true.
you're
Abraham,
not considered
Yeah.
sinful based on your thoughts. You're only considered
Can
sinful
I
on
Yes,
what
you
your
are.
actions
can
are.
I
No,
can I ask
that's
for
the Christian
can I
paradigm. You're conflating the two again.
So
You're
I know.
trying to
Hold on,
put us in
Rob.
your
I'm
box.
so sorry. Both Robs. We got two Robs up here. Rob Christian and Rob from Sin and No Apologetics. Shout
Hey,
out.
what's up?
Let me just say this real quick. I'll let you chime in here, Rob Christian. So it's not that the definition of adultery changed, Jalil.
It did.
The only thing, no, it didn't change.
Because how you define adultery is changed.
Finish.
That means the
Let me finish.
definition of adultery changed.
Let me finish. All that's happening here in Islam is that adultery is now allowed. It has an exception. It's not that adultery changed. It's that it has an exception now within Islam, which goes against the God of Abraham and everything that he taught from Genesis to Revelation. Muhammad comes now and says, well, there's an exception to adultery.
So you're saying it goes against.
Change.
You're saying it goes
Word.
against the teachings of Abraham. Does
The God of
the
Abraham.
teachings
right?
of
Because
The God of Abraham.
because
Okay, well, let's
it
make
goes,
the distinction, please.
The point. Hold on. The point of the matter is that it's inconsistent with the Abrahamic faiths.
Mm-hmm.
exactly?
It's having revelation is not inconsistent. It's consistent
No,
to have
it's not about having
that abrogates
revelation.
prior
No,
verses.
it's not about having revelation. It's about having consistent revelation with the previous revelation that was given to the people.
Because you can get a revelation from a demonic source. Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So that's why 1 Thessalonians 5:21 literally says to test all things and hold that which is good, and it's referring to spirits. That's why you have where false prophets can come. It tells literally the people to discern against the false spirits. So what's the difference between Muhammad now and the American Muhammad, Joseph Smith? There's not a difference at that point.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well,
Just
first
I
off,
just want to
Joseph
clarify.
Smith came after Muhammad, and so Muhammad is claiming to be the
No,
final
but
prophet.
but
It's
his
irrelevant
actions
to what
are
I'm saying.
it's exactly the same though. Joseph Smith had the same thing happen to him as Muhammad.
Same claims. The Mormons make the same claim that Muslims do.
I
That the
just
text
don't
was corrupted and
understand
that
how
Joseph.
you as Christians can say that because definitions must remain the same, that revelation doesn't apply. Like, how does that even make sense in Christianity?
Because that's the
Consistency is
immutability of
key.
God.
Yeah, consistency is key. The thing when it comes to God and his revelation is that God is consistent with his revelation. When it comes to Islam, it's not consistent, and that's the
Okay.
problem.
Okay, so let's start from Abraham. God is one and unique and not a creation. Moses, God is one and unique and not in creation. David, God is one and unique and
That's
not in
actually
creation.
wrong.
Jesus,
That's already
God is one
a
and
false
three
dilemma.
and part of creation. How does that make
Nope.
sense?
Because it's already a
And
false
Muhammad,
dichotomy with
God is one
Hold
and
on,
unique, not in
wait.
creation. So who's the
Can
one
y'all
that's
hear me okay?
who's the one that's
no,
providing
Hunter, I can
consistency
Hunter,
here?
but Hunter, if you finish your point, then I'll also.
Hunter, you are kind of
Yeah.
muffled though.
Oh, okay.
You
I'm
are
sorry.
kind of
It's
quiet,
probably
by the way.
I'm so sorry. I didn't know. It's the false dichotomy in the first place to say that when you talk about Abraham, Moses, to Jesus, then Muhammad, Abraham was actually with Yahweh on earth while Yahweh in heaven was raining down fire and ash onto Sodom and Gomorrah. So you have the two powers in heaven concept right there. Moses spoke face to face with God, but at the same time, no one can ever see God and live. You literally have the basis for the Trinitarian model in the Old Testament where Yahweh does come into creation and mingle with this creation at the same time, but yet nobody has ever seen God. But then when the New Testament comes in and Jesus comes in, no one has ever seen God but the unique God, the monogenos theos. And for King James it's the only begotten Son who is at the Father's side has made him. Yeah, exactly. That's where the unique sonship comes in, has made the Father known. This is all consistent throughout Revelation. Islam comes in and takes in Gnosticism ultimately and says, no, this is the original. This is orthodoxy. Anything that contradicts what I'm saying, they're wrong, and that's corruption, even though it doesn't say that in the text. That's
That is
inconsistency.
not Gnosticism. You have no idea.
I
Gnosticism is the
Avery,
idea
can you
that humans
share-
can achieve
wait,
the
1
level
second.
of knowledge that God has. That's we
One-
have some sort of
this is-
divinity within us. That has
I have a
nothing to do with
graphic.
Islam.
Can someone share my
Go
screen?
ahead, Rob.
I don't know if Avery's. I'm sharing
Hey.
a graphic here.
By the way,
You know what? I think. Okay, there we go. All right. What Hunter just said, to summarize, this is your Old Testament depiction of Yahweh. He's one God, represented as three personage. And then the New Testament comes along, Jesus specifically, clarifying that that's the Father, that's the Son, and the Spirit is still the same. It's a consistent message. But when you were saying that revelation is progressive, that more information is added over time, well, there you go. There's a one-to-one correlation going on here.
Why is there two Yahwehs though?
Second power in
Because
heaven
you have,
concept.
yeah, this is the two powers in heaven concept, pre-Christian.
Two powers in heaven. You have two gods in heaven.
I think they're referring
No.
to God, the Spirit of God, and God hovering over the water. That's where they get
This
the
is
Genesis.
the hypostasis. This is hypostasis terminology going on here. It's not two distinct gods. It's two Yahwehs.
There's two circles.
This is your hijab, so to speak, to transfer this over to Surah 42. This is your veil, and there's Allah. The Christian model is the veil is also ontologically on par with Allah. That veil is Jesus.
Hebrews 10.
Yeah, we can enter the Holy of Holies through his flesh, which is metaphorically the veil.
So how many persons are there in heaven? The two.
Three.
What?
Three
There's
persons.
three persons, one God.
Two powers.
Yeah, I was about to ask.
Looks like three circles to me.
I actually don't get it.
Okay, Second Temple Jews, they held to a binitarian model.
How did we
Jesus
get here?
comes on the scene and clarifies.
I have
and
no
says
idea.
It's actually 3 in 1. It's a Trinitarian model.
Okay, Avery, how do you reject the concept of progressive revelation? Don't things become revealed over time throughout prophethood?
I don't reject progressive revelation. I reject inconsistent revelation. So a revelation that's God's revelation that is consistent for thousands of years.
There you go.
And then another so-called revelation that goes against what has been already established and fundamental.
Yep, exactly.
Now,
look at, for example. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I wanted to go back specifically to that 066 thing because I have a question to clarify.
Yes, and let's let Rob, let's let RC get in here too. Rob, you could jump in whenever you feel like it. Is your mic good?
Hello, guys. God bless. Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt, guys, but you're talking about literally 3-4 topics at the same time, and I like that Rob just said, "Can we go back to Surah Al-Tahrim, chapter 66 again?" Because we're not done here, guys. Because the guy,
and I need a clarification.
Can I finish my sentence, brother?
Yeah,
Rob?
sure.
Jalil is literally allowing himself to change topic every second. But the topic, when I was listening like 30 minutes ago, you guys were talking about Surah Al-Tahrim, where Muhammad literally committed adultery with Maria al-Qibtiyya. And I'm happy that you guys brought up that Sahih Hadith from Sunan and Nisa'i, because there you can see that Muhammad literally slept with Maria al-Qibtiyya, the Copt slave that he got as a gift from the governor of Egypt, Al-Muqawqis, that was his name. We even know his name. And what I was hearing correctly from Jalil here is that Allah allowed Muhammad to sleep with Maria al-Qibtiyya, right? That's what you said, right?
Rob, where are you getting this from, Rob?
Allah has abrogated the definition of adultery to include or to exclude that which your right hand possesses.
Okay, I'm really happy that you brought this up, and that's what I wanted to talk about, because here is one problem. Either you're ignorant about Islam or you're literally lying in front of everybody, and here's why. Was Maria al-Qibtiyya a war booty? Did Muhammad achieve her? Did he capture her during war, or did he get her as a gift? That's a very important question.
There's not only one way of acquiring
slaves. No, answer my question, please. Again, did Maria al-Qibtiyya, was she given as a gift from the government of Egypt, Or did Muhammad get her as war booty, as your right hand possesses, as you just claimed?
So how are you making the distinction between the two? They're the same.
There's a huge difference. A
No.
gift, yes. What your right hand possesses, chapter 4, ayah 24, is what you get. A woman that you capture could be a married woman. That's what your right hand possesses. But Maria al-Qibtiyya, he got her as a gift, meaning, according to Islamic Sharia law, Muhammad was not allowed to sleep with her. Meaning, in other words, Muhammad literally did commit adultery behind the back of his wife, Hafsa, in her bed on her day.
What is your reference
Correct?
to Islamic Sharia that says that?
Yeah,
you can't just say it's in Sharia and then not.
Well, I'm
going
by what you said. You mentioned what your right hand possesses, meaning women that you capture during war, right?
Okay, how do you give a human being as a gift if they're not considered what your right hand possesses?
What your right hand possesses means when you attack a village, let's say a Jewish village, and you kill the man, and you take the women as war booty. That's what ma malakat aymanakum, meaning what your right hand possesses. Chapter 4, ayah 24, and in the lower part, it's talking about mut'ah. That same ayah. But let us not talk about mut'ah. I'm talking about what your right hand possesses that you brought up. Again, either you're not listening to what I'm saying here, what I'm asking you. You said, not me, you said that Maria al-Qibtiyya is considered to be what your right hand possesses. Didn't you say it?
Yes.
Okay. Now, was Maria al-Qibtiyya, listen carefully to my question. Please don't run from the question. Was Maria al-Qibtiyya captured during war? Did Muhammad attack a war? And he got Maria al-Qibtiyya. Did he get her as right hand possess, what your right hand possess, or did he receive her as a gift from the government of Egypt?
She was received as a gift because she is
Thank
able to
you.
be given
So she is not what your right hand
possesses,
which means during being captured during war, right?
It is an example of how people can be acquired, but it's not the only example.
Now you're tapped, and you know why I'm asking you this.
There's no.
She achieved? Listen carefully. Was she
no
achieved during war, or was
she
she a gift from the government of Egypt, the governor of Egypt?
Well, here it says gift and had sexual intercourse.
Thank you. So Muhammad was not allowed to sleep with her, meaning Muhammad did commit adultery, yet Allah allowed him to continue committing adultery. Right?
Rob, why are you saying that she's unlawful?
Because she is not war booty. She's not what your right hand possesses.
Why do you think war booty?
That's why I'm saying it.
Okay,
so
you
just did bid'ah. You are adding to Islam what Islam does not teach.
Rob, why do you think what your right hand possesses only applies to war booty?
Because that's what the ayah says in chapter 4, ayah 24. What you get from war, what your right hand. Don't teach me, and don't come with new stuff up. What your right hand possesses. Anybody who studied Islam, anybody who knows Islam knows what your right hand possesses. Ma malakat aymanakum in Arabic. I know Arabic. That's what you get from war. You attack a village and you capture the woman, you kill the men, or maybe you can even sleep with the men while the husbands are still alive.
Rob, do you want to look at the tafsirs maybe for 424?
Okay, go ahead, read it.
Okay, hold on. Let's see.
And I challenge you to find me where it says in that very specific tafsir that you're going to read, where it says that what your right hand possesses means also a gift. Let's say, in this case, Maria al-Qibtiyya, from the governor of Egypt.
Just because it doesn't not say it doesn't mean it excludes it. That's a false way of defining.
Okay, challenge. Show me in any Islamic book, where gifts, women that are gifts, are considered to be what your right hand possesses.
No.
Challenge.
No. You're shifting the burden of proof on me, but you're the one making the claim.
No. Listen,
she was.
If you can show me from any Islamic book, I will take my shahada today.
Really?
You're the one making the positive claim that she's unlawful, so you have to
So
prove
if
that
you
she's
can't show me,
unlawful.
that means you are literally a member of Ahlul Bid'ah, and we know what Ahlul Bid'ah means. That means you are committing kufr, you are a kafir, you are an apostate out of Islam. So either you are an ex-Muslim, or I'm going to take my shahada if you can prove me wrong.
So let me lay what he's doing here. So he's saying that Maria was a gift, not a captive slave of Muhammad, not a war booty of Muhammad.
Exactly.
And so your point is that okay? That doesn't mean that that she doesn't count as, you know, right hand possession. So he's asking you, do you have, because now you've made the positive claim that a gift is also considered a right hand possession. So he's asking, do you have a source that says that, you know, that says that even a gift like Maria was is considered right hand possession?
I mean, I can study that and try and prove it next stream if you guys want to.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. But okay, until then, Rob, you want to continue with your point?
Listen to this real quick.
Okay.
Ibn Abbas said, when Maria gave birth to Ibrahim, the messenger of Allah said, her son has set her free, meaning she was not a free woman beforehand, before she bore children.
So when Muhammad slept with her before
he was not a free
bearing
woman.
a child who later died, we know the story. So Muhammad, you see, what you're doing is afterwards, the damage control. You see, you're catching it, right, Avery?
No, I'm saying at the time of when he received her, she was not a free woman.
You are
you can't
10
make the
steps
claim
ahead.
that she
Let
was
us go back.
unlawful
Let us start from zero, my friend. When Muhammad slept with Maria al-Qibtiyya, Maria the Copt slave, when Muhammad slept with her, the question, the $1 million question is, was she allowed for Muhammad to sleep with her? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, prove it.
Because it was revealed that he was allowed to sleep with her. And
afterwards, beforewards.
Yeah,
was
because
he allowed? Since you brought up, listen, you brought up what your right hand possesses, and I'm still, you still didn't provide evidence or back up your claim. You said Maria al-Qibtiyya is considered to be what your right hand possesses, meaning ma malakat aymanakum. I'm still waiting for you to provide backup for your claim. That's number one. Number two, when Muhammad slept with her on the day of Hafsa, in the bed of Hafsa, was Muhammad allowed to sleep with her? Yes or no? If you're going to say yes, provide evidence.
I would say yes, and the evidence is that he was then revealed that he was allowed to sleep with her.
Afterwards.
Yeah, because he was ignorant of whether it was even permissible or not.
Afterwards. But at that specific moment, was she allowed for him to sleep with her? You said she is what your right hand possesses. I'm still waiting for you to provide evidence, man. We're waiting.
To provide evidence that she was what his right hand possesses?
Yes, I'm waiting.
Okay, because it says...
show me that a gift from the governor of Egypt means what your right hand possesses.
If the gift is something,
show me from
the gift is not a free woman, she doesn't become free after the gift.
But
she's not a free woman.
She is a slave. She is a slave, but she is not what your right hand possesses.
That's
my
the same
friend.
thing.
Clearly, you're showing us your ignorance about Islam.
Okay, when you say when your right hand possesses, and someone
it's not.
is a slave.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Challenge. Provide backup.
The right hand is always
your words mean nothing without backup. Right?
Rob.
Well, same goes to you, because all you did was say that it's in Sharia that it doesn't apply. But
no. Don't give me the ball back. You made a claim. You are the one who said she is considered what your right hand possesses. You have to back up your claim, not me. You made that claim.
Your initial claim was that she was unlawful.
Afterwards, when you were talking to Brother Avery, and before I joined, you were saying that she is considered to be what your right hand possesses. So when you made that claim, It's on you to provide the evidence and backup. Go ahead, show me the evidence.
Rob,
if you can show me,
Before
I
I
said
made
it.
that claim,
Today
your claim was that she
you
was
can make
unlawful
me
for
a
him.
Muslim in front of everybody.
Rob,
I will take my shahada if you can prove it.
Rob, can I say something?
Sure.
Okay. If I gift you anything, right? And you take it, right? You become the owner of the thing I gifted you, right?
Yes.
Okay, and you speak Arabic, and you know milk means ownership.
Yes.
So malakat yaminikum means whatever your right hand is or possesses or you have ownership of.
No.
Yes.
No. You're literally lying. Either you are ignorant. Tell me what it is. Either you're ignorant about Islam or you're playing the deception game, the matter of Allah, literally.
No, but it's literally.
No.
You take the word.
Do you know Islam? Yes or no? Just say it. If you don't know Islam, don't play the taqiyya game or the makr game with me because I'm very immune, my friend.
Okay, Rob.
So
I'm
what
telling you,
ma malakat aymanakum, what your right hand possesses, what does that mean according to Islam?
It's what
according
you
to
own.
Chapter 4, ayat 24. What does that mean?
The women you own.
Own how?
Own. If you have a slave woman that you own.
Own how?
Why do you need to say how? If you have ownage, it means you have ownage.
No.
You own a slave woman.
How did you come to own them? How did you? That's the most
It doesn't
important
matter
part.
how.
You can. No, it does. It does.
Okay, prove it does.
No, you prove it because you said, listen, the proof is on you. You can laugh all you want. You have to prove. You have to prove because you are the one making the claim.
I'm taking the apparent meaning.
That
Your
a
claim
gift
is that she's
means
unlawful,
what
which
your
is
right hand says. I'm waiting
unsubstantiated.
for you to refute me.
Okay, so I'm saying the apparent meaning of the word milk al-yamin, right? It's
Milk
ownership.
al-yamin, yeah.
Okay, it means ownership, right?
Ownership by how?
Huh? Just means ownership.
Don't play the huh. Don't
it
play
literally
the
just
how
means
with me.
ownership.
Don't lie. Don't lie. Okay.
Do you not know Arabic?
Nobody
What does
here
milk
is
mean?
ignorant about Islam anymore.
Oh
Again, chapter 4, ayat 24. If you go to the tafsir, which tafsir do you accept?
Tabari.
What?
Tafsir Tabari.
Okay, open tafsir al-Tabari and show me where it says that a gift received, let's say from a king or a government or a governor.
No.
That it means that it falls under what your right hand possesses. Ma malakat aymanakum. Go ahead.
Okay, Rob.
You can make me a Muslim today.
Rob,
Challenge.
Rob, it doesn't have to say exactly that saying that it has to be. Oh, it's a gift.
Since you just made that claim, back it up. Your words mean nothing without backup or evidence. Right? Don't play the game, man.
I think this conversation is going nowhere. I'm
yeah,
giving
it goes nowhere because
meaning.
you're literally lying about Islam.
Okay.
Why? Because you just showed us why you Muslims cannot be trusted, and you will always use makr of Allah, the deception of Allah, and taqiyya when you debate Christians. We are not stupid. We know Islam better than you, buddy.
Rob, why are you doing mental gymnastics? How about you Google Translate?
I'm not the one doing mental gymnastics. You are. And I'm so happy that it's recorded and you're being famous today. We are making you famous and showing everybody what kind of liars and deceivers you Muslims are when you debate Christians like us. Again, you are the one who must back it up with evidence. Show me from tafsir, show me from any fiqh or sharia where it says that malakat aymanakum means also a woman that is received as a gift from a king or a governor.
The women you own. It doesn't matter
how. What do you mean by own? What do you mean? A or B?
Yeah.
Okay. You know,
the right hand possesses always.
You know you're busted, right? You know you're busted.
No.
You know your lies are busted.
But just to be clear,
you are being a recorder, right? Your boyfriends and girlfriends are not going to be happy about you today.
Just to be clear. So the argument here is that your right hand possession is not the same as the gift that you receive, right? That's the argument. And so I guess Adam and Jalil are saying, yes, it's the same. And so Rob is asking for a reference that demonstrates that. Do you guys have a reference that demonstrates that?
Who's making the claim here?
You guys made that claim.
What claim?
That the gift is equal to right hand possession.
No,
that claim was
it's
made by you
you
guys.
guys who are making the claim that they are separate. Am I
No,
right
no,
or wrong?
no. So when Rob pointed out that Mary the Copt was a gift given to Muhammad.
Yep.
And so, but I believe it was Jaleel specifically that
Yeah.
said,
Brother Avery, can you do me a favor, please? Can you go to QuranX.com? Let me bury their lies for once and for all, live on air in front of everybody.
You're gonna
Go
show
to
me Ibn Kathir?
QuranX.com and then go to the commentary of Ibn Kathir. For
I know,
chapter
I
4,
read it. I read
ayah
it.
24.
I read
Yeah,
it.
I'm going to force you to read
Yeah.
it
Actually,
live on air.
put a
in
link
It's
front
in
of
the
not
chat
everybody.
if you wanna
exclusively
check
for
Because
it
I'm
war
out.
tired
booty
of your
though.
lies.
It's not exclusively for war booty though.
No.
If you read it, you can
Let
see
us
it's
go
not
to Ibn
exclusive.
Kathir. Brother Avery, just a second here. Because we're going
I
to
mean, go
see,
ahead.
everybody's going to see who is lying and who is not lying today.
Go
And I
ahead.
said today to you, I told you, if you can prove me wrong, I will recite my shahada today.
what verse, Rob?
Chapter 4, ayah 24, Ibn Kathir commentary.
Yeah,
It's not exclusive to just war captives.
Okay.
You can
So that's-
receive slavery
claim.
through other means.
You're lying.
And
I'm not
also,
lying.
So guys, that's the claim that
Here's
you
a
guys have to
okay.
prove.
Here's a
Brother
hadith.
Ibn Kathir, please.
Here's a hadith. Sahih al-Bukhari,
Okay.
2594.
Just second.
The
Before we
wife
go
of
to
the
the hadith,
prophet
before you go,
that she
just a second,
manumulated
before we
her
go to the
slave girl,
hadith,
and the prophet said
before
to
we go
her,
to the hadith, just a second, brother, can you read that part where it says, "Ma malakat aymanakum," and it says between brackets, except those whom your right hand possesses. Read that part, brother Avery, and if it's possible to make it a little bit bigger. All right,
I
perfect.
get it?
That part, yes.
Yeah,
Read that
you
part.
don't got your glasses on, Rob.
I'm an old man, bro. What can I do?
So it says, except those whom your right hand possess, except those whom you acquire through war.
What does that say? Can you repeat that part again?
Those who you acquire through war.
And now let us continue
process.
read. Let us continue read. Where does it say as a gift or whatever?
Let's see. It should come
doesn't
up.
have to. It doesn't have to.
It doesn't have to.
Where does it say Trinity in your Bible? Where does it say Trinity?
Process of hold on.
That's such a stupid. That's
Hold
a
on.
stupid argument. It really is.
Well, that was
Stupid argument, guys. Are you hearing it?
Acquire
Ibn Kathir
someone-
is stupid argument.
When
I
you
love this, man.
when you acquire someone, that is the process of taking someone who was initially free and having them become a slave through war.
Brother, are you now
Okay,
adding?
since-
Are you
hold on,
adding?
hold on.
Are you
Let
adding
me
to
finish.
the
Wait,
tafsir of
one
Allah?
second,
Are you
one
adding to
second,
the tafsir of Ibn
one second.
Kathir?
1 second. Since something like this, Ibn Kathir, is so specific, right?
Yes.
Is there a specific equivalent that a gift, like when you're explaining her being given as a gift, that is another way of saying the right hand
Okay, yeah.
possessor?
So exactly, this is the point I'm making: is that if someone is already a slave before they've been gifted, they retain the level of being a slave. So in this hadith, Sahih al-Bukhari 2594, it says, "You would have got more reward if you had given the slave girl to one of your maternal uncles," which means it is possible for you to transfer ownership of slaves
But
to
my
other
friend,
people.
just a second.
They retain
That's
the
not
level
what
of
your right
slavery.
hand possesses. That's a gift.
But that's
We're talking
but that's
about
not
what your right hand possesses because you
what
brought it up.
What does the phrase "right hand possess" mean specifically?
What
means ownership.
women that are
Literally
captured
ownership.
during war by
Means
Muslims.
slave. Okay.
Nope.
Okay. So
Yes, don't lie. It's in front of you.
who gave this woman to Muhammad?
Maria al-Qibtiyya, you mean?
Yes. Who gave her to Muhammad?
The governor of Egypt, and I even know his name. His name is Al-Muqawqas. The governor of Egypt gave her as a gift, including her, if I'm not mistaken, one of her family members also, and her brother Ma'bur also. Three persons at least.
What was the status of them prior to being gifted? Were they free or slaves?
They were slaves, right?
So okay, so then they were acquired.
But did
and became
Muhammad
slaves?
did Muhammad get them through war? No, that's the whole point.
slaves had already been acquired.
I mean, it's literally in front of you. Listen,
initially they were through
just
war,
second,
though.
just
The
second. It's
acquisition
literally in front of
initially
you.
was through
The
war.
definition of war booty, the definition of what your right hand possesses, ما ملكت أيمانكم, is in front of you. Ibn Kathir is on the screen, who busted your lies, and till now you didn't provide any single evidence to refute me. So you are literally cornered, and your lies are busted in front of a large audience today. Meaning you are literally lying. You have no honor and you have no shame, because you are
with the definition of the word acquire.
You are literally allowed to lie. We know that you, as a Muslim, you are allowed to lie to defend Islam.
If you acquire someone, that means you're taking someone from being a free person to slave.
Okay, I will go with you again. For how many times now, Brother Avery? How many times did I ask him? Show me one book that agrees with you that a received gift in the shape of a woman means what your right hand possesses. Again, if you can show me the proof to back up your claim, you liar. And I'm going to say it as it is. I'm going to take my shahada today, not tomorrow, not yesterday, today. I'm going to take my shahada. I'm waiting. You
Find
can make me
a
Muslim
Bible verse that says Trinity, I'll be a Christian. That's exactly what you're saying.
Okay,
That's
so you want to
exactly what you're
deflect,
saying.
huh?
No. Your argument is very dumb. And I'm
Do you
telling
see
you.
it, guys? It's game over.
Because the Arabic
Avery,
says
this is
ownership.
how
You
to do
own
it.
by gift. If I give you a
This
gift,
is
you're
how
the
we
owner.
do it.
You're an Arab. I don't know why you're an Arab and you don't want to look at the Arabic meaning.
I know the Arabic meaning. This is why.
Yeah,
this
it's
is why
what's in
I'm
English?
literally
Say the English of the
exposing
Arabic.
you and your lies.
Say the English of the Arabic.
Fellas.
Okay, I have it right here. According to Hanafi fiqh, provided by
Can you put it on the
Q&A,
screen, please?
Put it on right here.
Put it on the
This
screen.
term refers to a slave girl who is owned by her master.
Okay, put it on the screen and show me where it says
ownership.
Okay,
Islam.
Can you put it on the screen, please? Because your words mean nothing.
I'll put it on the screen. It's Islam Q&A.
It says right after the paragraph in the Holy Quran, it says this term refers to a slave girl who was owned by her master. So the simple act of owning, having ownership, implies that they are someone who your right hand possesses.
Boom.
Just a second. Let's see who is going to laugh last. All right. Let's see if this is talking about what you're
This is Hanafi.
Where's the where am I going?
Keep going down.
No. Before we go
down.
Go back. Let us go back
right
on
there.
top.
No. Before we go, no.
This term refers to slave girl.
No. Just a second. Go up, Brother Avery, because you know how they do what they do always, right? Let us go up.
Right there. It says, "Walaikum Assalam." In
I
the Holy
reach
Quran,
a council woman,
been
and
given
a
to
topic
have
has come
relations
up.
with those
Guys,
by
one
man.
at a time. Goodness.
Can somebody? Do you want to read it, Avery? Because we can't read it.
Jalil's reading it. He can read it. Go ahead, Jalil.
Okay. Well, we have to start with the Walaikum Salam because that's the response.
Mm-hmm.
So go further down.
No. Read.
I thought you were gonna read this. It doesn't. This part doesn't matter.
I have to read the second part. The first part is the question.
No. You need to read everything.
Oh, the first part is the question.
That's the question, Rob.
Yeah. So the second part, Walaikum Assalam, in the Holy Quran, an allowance has been given to have relations with those who are possessed by a man. This term is used for this as what the right hands possess. And then if you want to read that in Arabic, I don't.
Ma malakat aymanakum.
Yes, this term refers to a slave girl who is owned by her master. The master, who is the sole owner, possessor of the slave girl, is fully in charge of her and is at liberty to keep her as a slave or let her be free.
Mm-hmm.
As the word states, a slave girl must
reading.
be a slave which is owned by her master. During the time of slavery, women would have become slaves and were sold and purchased just as men. Also, women who were captives of war. So also, it says also. So this is not exclusive towards just captives during war.
Yeah, the fact that it says you can sell and purchase slaves, doesn't that mean it's not only from war?
Yes, it is from war. It's only.
No, you're being totally delusional.
Bro, you are very
ingenuine. Just read it for
No, you're being ingenuine.
No.
It's
You're
if you
listening.
can buy
what is this
something,
first
you
of all, what
acquire
is this
that
website?
thing.
What is this website?
Islam Q&A.
Islam Q&A. Okay. Can you send me the link, brother?
It's in the private chat.
This is not Islam Q&A. What was
Yeah,
it?
it's not. What is this? It's
it's not Islam Q&A.
Islam Q&A.org.
Who is the owner of this website?
Brother.
And what matter? And what book is this?
The scholar
Sheikh
is. This is
Wasim
reported.
Khan.
This is reported by Sheikh Wasim Khan at the top,
and
it's found at darululumtt.net, and it's attributed to Hanafi fiqh. So let's see if we can go there and actually get.
And Abu Hanifa is an old scholar, so you don't say this is it's a new scholar or whatever. It's old scholar.
I know.
Okay.
Okay, can you show me where it says gift? Because we're talking about that she is a gift.
Bro, are you serious?
Yes, I am.
The definition is the definition.
Dude, I'm not having
there,
this conversation if you're just going to keep on dodging.
Okay, Avery, can you scroll up, please?
Now show me where it says.
Scroll up, please.
That gifts, women that are gifts, fall under ma malakat aymanakum. Yes, I'm dead serious, buddy.
At the top, this term refers to a slave girl who is owned by her master. Simple as. Okay. As long as you own a slave woman, she is considered whom your right hand possesses.
No.
What are you talking about?
It says it right there. Come on, Rob. Stop
lying.
Being blind to the truth.
No. You're lying. We both.
It says it right there.
Both of us. I challenge you. Listen. You know what? I challenge.
The challenge has been met.
Dude. I challenge you on the head. I challenge you to say the following: on the head of your prophet. I challenge you to say on the dead body of my prophet. What ma malakat aymanakum means also women that are received as gifts. Go ahead, do it.
Bro, it says sold and purchased.
No,
right?
Okay, it's very easy, right? Swear on the dead body of your prophet that ma malakat aymanakum means a woman that is received as gift, which also mean ma malakat ayman. Go ahead, swear. It's very easy for a Muslim to swear. Didn't Allah Himself swear? By the stars, for example.
You're nitpicking, Rob.
No, because you see, I don't trust this website. Whoever made it, I don't trust this.
Don't trust anything, bro.
Who cares? I challenge you to swear on the dead body of your prophet that ma malakat aymanakum means a woman that is received as a gift, and not a woman that is captured through war as war booty. Go ahead.
Evidence of
I've had enough of this conversation.
And I don't
I've had enough. I'm not even going to continue.
Why?
Because you're ignoring what's in front of you.
Okay. This website. All we know, this could have been created by somebody who's lying, like you.
Oh, right.
Okay, everyone is lying.
I showed you Ibn Kathir. Show me from an official.
He never said it was exclusively just from war.
I don't trust this lie. This is a lie.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm done.
You're done because you know this is a lie.
Hold on. I do have a question.
You understand that the consensus in Sharia is not based on one text alone. It's a consensus of scholars, right?
So can you show
I'm just sharing my screen.
Yeah, can you show where the... All right, yeah, go ahead.
Go for it. Go for it, Hunter. Go for it.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, because you say there was a consensus when it comes to this. Despite what the website is actually saying, why does he come to that conclusion? What is his evidence?
Allahu Alam. I mean, that's their consensus. Why do we have... If that's their consensus, that's what the definition is. If the definition of who the right hand possesses is anyone who is a slave woman who is owned by their slave owner, someone acquired through purchasing, selling, or through war, any of the above, as long as you have ownership over that slave, that is by definition someone who your right hand possesses.
That slave.
All you're doing, Rob, is you're disagreeing with Abu Hanifa.
I allowed you to speak.
If you disagree with Abu Hanifa, I mean, I have no help for you.
That slave, where did that slave originally come from? Did she Was she achieved through war booty, or was she received as a gift
I asked
originally?
you this already,
That's
and you
no, that's
said that
very
she.
important
I'll answer you. I'll answer
we
you.
need everybody here is our witness, and in the end God is our witness. The liar will be caught immediately. So again, that part, that website that you were reading from, where does it say that originally that woman originally she does not come through war booty? Because my claim is that only war booty was allowed for Muhammad to sleep. So, since
Yeah, and
Maria
your definition
Qibtiyya
is
was not
incorrect.
achieved through war as war booty, what your right hand possesses, meaning she was not allowed for Muhammad to sleep with her, as you claimed.
Okay, I've been waiting patiently. I just want a clarification on this. It is connected to the discussion.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also doing Google searching, and I'm seeing people commentating on this discussion and throwing all these like Sahih Bukhari references, and this one caught my eye, and I need clarification. In fact, Rob Christian, if you can give a clarification if you're familiar with this, and then our Muslim guest. So down near the end, something to do with the sun eclipsing and so on, and he's praying and all that. So then Muhammad says, "O followers of Muhammad, by Allah, there is none who has more self-respect than Allah, as he has forbidden that his slaves, male or female, commit adultery, illegal sexual intercourse. O followers of Muhammad, by Allah," now supposedly this is Muhammad saying this, "if you knew that which I know, you would laugh little and weep much."
Okay, so in this context, the word slaves, is that referring to Allah or Muhammad? Who are the slaves of Allah?
I don't know. I'm asking for the context of this discussion.
The slaves of Allah are Muslims, and it has been forbidden for them to commit adultery, which is anyone having sex with a free person outside of marriage, excluding that which your right hand possesses.
Okay, no. What I'm saying is, what does Muhammad mean by this? If you knew that which I know, you would laugh little and weep much.
We have no idea what that means. It could refer to anything, Jahannam, Day of Judgment, punishments of the grave. It could refer to anything. But all we know is the prior statement, the prior sentence, is referring to Allah and His slaves, which means Muslims. Muslims, male or female, are not allowed to commit adultery. And in this context, anything that is considered illegal is having sex with a male or female outside of marriage, excluding that which your right hand possesses. And by definition,
did Muhammad sire a son through this Mary woman?
Yes, and that is what allowed her, which also proves that she was considered a handmaid at the time, because it allowed her freedom after she had given birth. So it was considered she was of his right hand possessing prior to the birth, which allowed her to become a free woman. So everything points to Maria being a slave woman, being given to Muhammad as a slave woman, which is allowed based on the hadith that I gave earlier, and her retaining that slaveship until she had given birth, which allowed her to become a free woman. But prior to revelation, Muhammad had no knowledge of it being either halal or haram until after the revelation, which would made halal for him to have intercourse with that which his right hand possesses.
Okay, now what's your reaction to this? Because the person commentating on I don't know who the person is that's written this commentary.
So you don't know who this is, so let's not even.
No. It's just this is interesting reading.
Just a commentary.
Rob, before we go there, we need to finish this. What right hand possess? Because these guys are literally lying. I have here a website in front of me. It's called islamonline.net. And brother Avery, if you can do me a favor, islamonline.net, and if you Google it and you type in what is a captive that the right hand possesses, right here in front of me, it says the following.
Did you just say captive?
Just second. The word.
Did you just say captive?
Just second. The word right hands. Let me read it out loud. The word right hands here refers to women taken as prisoners of war. And look what it says. I'm reading it literally in front of me. It is by no means an implication of concubine, for this is totally prohibited in Islam. Nor does it refer to purchasing female slaves from market to be used to satisfy sexual urge. It is during warfare that the right hand actually takes possession of captives. And this is what the Quran in chapter 4, ayah 24 means.
Who's saying this? Whose opinion is this? Which scholar?
This is, let's see. Brother Avery, can you put this on the screen, brother? Also, IslamOnline.net or Islam Q&A, the Salafi website.
That's what I shared earlier, Islam QA.
No, that's a different one. The real Salafi Islam Q&A.
Yeah, which one do you want me to post? The first one, the Islam Q&A, or the Islam
this is Kamal Badr. Kamal Badr. Yeah, type in, brother, IslamOnline.net, and then type after it, type what is a captive that the right hand possesses.
No, the link is there. In the
yeah,
chat.
I got it right here.
And if you open the website, you will see a Quran on the top. Black Quran.
BBC, I see it.
Yeah, that's the website, exactly. Scroll down, brother. Scroll down all the way down, and then where you have that pinkish line on the left. You have a pink line on the left. That's talking about Surah An-Nisa, and then and then the second alinea underneath it, it says the word right hands.
Yeah.
Can you make it a little bit bigger and read it again?
This website's tafsir.
Just a second.
Whose opinion is this? You're just giving a website.
The name is in the bottom. It's a sheikh. Just a second.
Okay, show it.
Avery, let us read it first, because you are literally.
How about let's look at who actually gave this opinion first.
That's what I'm saying.
Just a second. Let us read it first.
Why?
Brother Avery, can you read it, please?
Yeah. We'll see who it is in a second, guys. Cool. The word right hands here refers to women taken as prisoners of war. It is by no means an implication of concubinage, whatever. For this is totally prohibited in Islam. Nor does it refer to purchasing female slaves from market to be used to satisfy sexual urge. It is during warfare that the right hand actually takes possession of captives, and this is what the Quran means.
Where's the proof of this?
What the Quran means. Okay, so if someone were to say, okay, this verse of the Quran clearly states that the earth is flat, are we supposed to just believe them?
Yeah, the Quran should not be believed.
Well, there are tafsirs that say to avoid those astronomers that say the earth is a sphere.
And that's why we rely on the consensus. The ijma.
But did you catch it, Avery? You see, he wants now to change topic. But did you catch it, Avery? The word or the sentence, what your right hand possesses, only means the captives that you achieve because of war, during war. That's what ma malakat aymanakum means, and only means. So since Maria al-Qibtiyya was not achieved or owned because war, as a war booty, that means she's excluded out of this whole thing, because
the
you brought up
Jesus is baseless.
You brought up what your right hand possesses, that Maria al-Qibtiyya is what your right hand possesses. So you're literally lying. I busted you.
Who's Kamal Badr? And what's his proof?
Okay.
So you have some random guy who's not even sheikh, or we go with the sheikh who has used
info.
What?
Do you accept the sheikh, the Salafi sheikh, Al-Munajjid, or whatever your name is, from IslamQA.info? Salafi PhD sheikh, is he good enough for you?
Can you give us classical scholars that say that? I'd be happy to see a classical scholar.
First of all, are you a Salafi, Jalil?
Oh my God.
Are you a Salafi?
You're really going there.
Yes, because you Muslims are.
No, I do not identify as a Salafi. I identify as Muslim.
The Muslims shuffle, right?
I identify as a Muslim who follows the Quran and the Sunnah.
Rob, show the ijma.
Okay, So this is islamqna.info, which will say the same exactly what we just read earlier. Everybody knows who studied a little basic Islam. Chapter 4 at 24 knows what your right hand possesses only and only means war booty. War booty. That's it. So when you said that Maria al-Qibtiyya is what your right hand possesses, meaning she is allowed for Muhammad to sleep with her, you're literally lying or you're literally ignorant. So pick your cherries. Are you lying in front of everybody or are you ignorant? Which one of the two are you?
You're being purposely deceitful by denying the definition we clearly
I
gave.
am the one who is deceiving. Did you hear it, guys?
Yes, because acquiring is not the same as already having something which your right hand possesses.
Okay.
You
Again,
acquire
let us
by
start from
capturing.
zero. Maria al-Qibtiyya, was she achieved by Muhammad as war
Was
booty?
she what?
When was Maria al-Qibtiyya captured during war by Muhammad and his men?
No.
Or was she received as a gift from the governor of Egypt, Al-Muqawqas?
Yes,
Which one of the two?
it was a gift. So what?
So she's
He
a gift.
owns her now. He
Meaning,
owns
so
her.
what? You
He
hear
owns the
guys?
gift.
So what?
He
He
owns
knows
the
he's
gift.
busted.
Malik,
He
Malik,
knows
you need
he's
to own
cornered.
something.
It
Bro, you're
still
ignoring
implies
it.
Muhammad
ownership.
was not
This is
allowed
crazy.
to sleep with her.
This is actually
Bam!
crazy.
There you go.
This is actually crazy.
Crazy, yeah. It's crazy when we
It's crazy how you're
destroy
ignoring the
you and
Arabic.
bury your lies in front of people. Yes, it's very crazy. I agree.
Keep ignoring the Arabic.
Yeah,
If
keep
you
it going.
Google
Okay, let us
Translate.
go back to the Arabic then.
Yeah,
Let's
how
go
about
back to
Google
the Arabic.
Translate? Yeah, Google Translate it.
Google translated, guy. Google translated, guys. Here.
Because you're saying, oh, different meaning of that.
Okay,
Arabic means literally owning someone.
we have
You own
asked
someone.
Prophet Google, peace be upon him, and islamqna.info is on the screen. You want to read it together with us?
Oh my god.
Oh my god, my lies are being busted. I love this meme.
Interesting conversation.
Yeah. So, Avery, what do you think, guys? Was Muhammad allowed to sleep with Maria al-Qibtiyya or not?
Depends if he had ownership of her. If he owned
How?
her, then yes.
How? When and how?
Because she was given as a
She
gift.
was already
You give
considered a
gift to
concubine at
someone,
the time.
you become the owner.
You become the owner, yes, but not what your right hand possesses. I'm going back to what you said. You said Maria al-Qibtiyya is what your right hand possesses. It's recorded. You are recorded, buddy. You said it, not me. Meaning, either you're lying. If you're lying, just say it. I lied or I'm ignorant. Then we can move on. Did you lie or are you ignorant? Which one of the two are you?
Based on the definition we gave earlier, what your right hand possesses is defined as a slave girl who was owned by her master. And in the website, it says right there.
So you're literally lying.
Possession of a female or male slave.
And I'm so happy that you're recorded, buddy. You're now famous as a liar. Clearly, you have no honor and dignity. This is why you're still a Muslim in 2022, right? Face it.
It's even more surprising you went from Islam to Christianity, honestly.
Oh, yeah. You see, guys, in front of everybody, and everybody is here our witness.
Oh, boy.
Without lies of Muslims, Islam will die. And that's what they have done for the last 1400 years. They have lied through their teeth.
You know,
I
want to hear the opinion of the other guys.
And this is how
I don't think they're convinced either.
Deceive these poor victims into Islam as new converts.
That's cool, bro.
By lying to them. How many Muslim converts are being told when you recite the Shahada and after 2 years you decide to leave Islam, we are allowed to kill you under Sharia law?
That is not the
case.
case.
Converts are being told that? Zero. Which normal human being would convert to a field
first
like
of all,
Islam,
it depends on whether you're in a Kafir country.
If the moment
Second of
you
all,
leave,
you're given
you
3
convert
days
and
at
you
minimum.
leave, you decide to leave, we are allowed to kill you. What kind of human being?
Why are we pivoting to another?
Normal...
Why are we pivoting to another topic? Can we just?
I'm being on topic. I'm staying on topic. I'm showing
now you're talking about
you people have no honor. You have no shame. You are literally worshippers of the original killer who is nobody but Satan in
Empty
disguise,
claims.
who you call
Ooh.
Allah.
Empty claims. Okay. So
Empty
what are you
claims?
guys? What are your guys' opinion on this?
Okay, lastly, before I just need to say, out of all of the evidence you can gather, you still need to confer with the consensus of the scholars and the Salaf, which is Abu Hanifa, which claims that is the definition of what the right hand possesses.
Wait, hold on. Consensus says Jesus was crucified, but you wouldn't sustain to that. So why does it matter what the consensus says?
Because it goes against revelation. That's different.
Well, that's again a claim. Consensus would say that it's not revelation. So
okay, let's just skip back to the point. Okay.
Okay.
The point we're making is that the consensus of the Salaf.
Nowhere
is that
does
right
the
hand
Quran say that
possesses.
Jesus was not crucified. Nowhere does the Quran say that Jesus was not crucified. Challenge.
It says they crucified him not, nor did they kill him.
Challenge.
But
Do you
either
accept
way,
my
that's a whole
challenge?
other point.
Okay, let us go.
Okay, challenge all you want. Okay, you can say the word
I'm going.
challenge over
You
and over
see,
again.
I'm going to bury, since I'm here, since we're having fun anyway. And again, brother Avery, with all due respect, brother, I'm not here to take over. You know that, right, bro? I'm only here to show you guys how easy it is to bust them. Are you willing to accept my challenge to show everybody where it says in the Quran that Jesus
We
did not
didn't
die
even
and was
finish
not
the first
crucified?
challenge, and you
Do
want
you
to add
accept
another
it? Do you
one.
accept it?
Okay, the first challenge you said if you failed, then you would become Muslim. So that's pretty
No,
big of a
we
claim.
already passed that. I literally buried you on that topic.
You
Okay,
didn't.
what was
Though.
the
You
answer?
didn't. You
on
didn't
what
give
the
a
right hand
single salaf.
consensus.
You didn't give a single
So
consensus.
since
You're
you
just
got
quoting
buried,
some dumb
do you now
website
accept
and some
my
Kemal
new
Badr guy that
challenge?
no one knows.
Do you accept my new challenge after me
No.
burying you?
Why are
Can
you
I bury you
pivoting?
again?
Oh my!
You're evading the answer to the original challenge, which
We
is the
gave
fact
you a
that you
salaf.
are wrong and you have no consensus to back up your statement.
I already
Why are
proved.
you
I
still
already
quoting
proved it.
consensus?
I showed it from Ibn
Because
Kathir,
that's what
and I
Sharia
showed it
is.
from
You can't just take
IslamOnline.net.
belief and
And
just
you
take
are
it as gospel. You have to
IslamOnline.net.
showing me
Through the
a
lens of the
lying website, because any Muslim with some basic knowledge knows that war booty is halal, right? Is considered to sleep with. But if you receive a woman as gift in the shape of a slave, you're not allowed to sleep with her, buddy. I literally buried you
Where does
on
it say
that.
that?
So what does it say? We
Yeah,
just
where
showed
does it
you
say
from
that?
Islam. Didn't you hear Avery read it?
No,
Everybody
see,
heard it
we're
except
going
you.
back to the original point that you made. You made the claim that she was unlawful for him, but there's
we
nothing to
finished it,
support
guys.
that. In fact, everything supports the contrary.
What?
What? No, not everything supports the
No,
contrary.
you're literally lying. I just buried you. I just buried
I-
your lie, man.
I think
We're
we should.
done. We are past that.
Yeah,
So
we
do
should.
you accept? Do you
we should
accept my
table this one.
challenge? Prove to me where the Quran says that Jesus
Forget your
was
second
not
challenge. Let's
crucified
finish the
and he
first
did not
challenge
die
because
on
you
the
keep
cross. Do you
evading it.
accept
Okay.
it?
Hold on,
You're
we have
evading
we
the
have,
first
we have
challenge.
a we have a super chat, fellas. We have a super chat who says Jalil is falsely claiming that the scholarly consensus supports his position. That's from Daniel Alvarez.
We didn't look at the scholarly consensus, and that wasn't Jalil's
Let
claim.
me ask a question
Sorry.
about. Hold on. Let me ask you a question about that. The scholarly consensus, is there a database somewhere that actually logs this consensus of scholars across the board and lists down every single one of them saying this is it, this is it, this
Yes,
is it?
it's
we can
called
look at the
Islamic
books.
Jurisprudence, Usul al-Fiqh, and it has the
It was what? I'm
consensus of
sorry?
many scholars that have been written already. Unfortunately for you, it's not in English, so we have to refer to the Arabic most of the time, but they do exist.
So read the Arabic.
Do you read
Let's go
do
to
you
Arabic.
read Arabic?
I don't read Arabic, but I do
So
understand.
you want to go to the Arabic yet you don't know Arabic?
Hold on,
Makes
Rob.
sense.
I'm just
Hang
saying
on,
they
Rob.
do exist.
Rob,
Just because you don't find them
wait,
in
hold on.
English doesn't mean they don't
Hang on.
exist.
Wait, Rob, if it's in Arabic and you don't read Arabic, how do you know that that's the consensus?
What kind of question is that?
Because if you
how
don't
else
even
are we
understand
supposed to be Muslim? How else are we supposed to follow
do
the
I have to know
Sunnah
Arabic?
if we're
Do I
not
have to
being
know?
told
Hold
what
on,
it
hold on.
means?
Do I have to know Arabic to be a Muslim?
No,
No.
you can take the word of
Okay, thank
the
you.
scholars.
So if I don't have to know Arabic to be a Muslim, then why does it matter if I know Arabic to be a Muslim? The question I
No,
had
I'm
is,
just saying.
how do you? Hold on, hang on.
They
a second.
exist.
No, okay,
these
sure.
books,
Well, hold
these
on.
books
You
that
don't
you're
know
talking
that
about.
because hang on a second. You don't know that because you don't read Arabic, so you actually don't even know what's being said. So how can you say that?
No, but there's other people who speak Arabic that can verify that.
So you're taking it on the basis of other people.
Maybe they are lying.
Yes, I can read the
qualified,
Arabic and say yes,
certified,
that's what it says because I'm
they're
an
given
Arabic speaker.
certification. What's the word for it? The certification.
Ijaza.
Yeah, they have an ijaza, which is they've acquired it through training, scholarly training, through the consensus of other scholars that have approved them of scholarly status.
So
Once
you
you're
have
approved
scholars
to
go,
become
so
a
you
scholar,
have, wait, so you have scholars going off of other scholars?
Yes.
which go
So they're
back
actually
to the prophet.
So hold on. Consensus deals with the actual evidence itself, not going off of other scholars. Consensus deals with academics actually dealing with the actual, coming up with their own conclusions on their own and them agreeing on it separately.
Yes, okay.
Not going off of other scholars.
Okay, so here we have Muhammad, and we have his Sahaba. Their consensus of what Muhammad taught was passed down to the Salaf, the Imams of the Salaf. Yes.
But you have no evidence to show it's actually a consensus other than an Arabic thing that you can't read.
Okay, but I can read it for him and translate it for him.
Right, but that's going off of, again, a scholar going off of a scholar off of somebody else off of somebody else.
Yes, at
Yes,
some
and
point
that's the
there
most
are people
reliable
who spoke
way.
English and Arabic at some point, which is how I'm able to understand this. But they're going off of their teacher who taught them, who goes back to
So
the
it's not
Salaf Imams, which is the Abu Hanifa, Shafi'i, Maliki, Hanbali.
So it's hearsay. It's not consensus.
It's not hearsay. Because this is how we have science of Hadith. Is a science to verify the validity of something's statement and whether it traces back to the Prophet Muhammad. So if it doesn't trace back to the Prophet Muhammad...
But this doesn't fit peer review. That's Hunter's point.
That's exactly what I'm saying. That's not consensus.
This is not even close to what we call peer review in academia.
But we have books of the Salaf. We have books going back to those
We have books written by
no. I'm not denying you have books. What I'm saying is what you would call consensus is not what academia would call consensus.
It's not consensus.
Why?
It's hearsay. Because
whatever method that was practiced back then is totally woefully outdated compared to peer review today. So in other words,
science is strong enough to
very method
retain its value throughout time.
No,
it's not like science that needs to be changed constantly. Like scientism, it's not like the, you know,
oh god,
not like theory.
Science changing is because of the peer review.
Oh my goodness!
If a consensus is established, it doesn't change, and so the consensus of the scholars,
yeah, but then how do you know that's valid though?
Because that's the entire basis of Hadith science. That's the entire
then
basis
it's a blind
of
faith.
Jurisprudence.
No, that's a really bad method then.
There's one thing that we rely on, and it's the ijaza.
Bad science.
It's the ijaza, which is the certification of becoming a scholar of Islam. And you have to pass a certain level of knowledge to become a scholar. And so the scholars that were the Sahaba of Muhammad have set the standard of what it takes to become someone who is a scholar. So if you don't meet that criteria, you're not just going to be able to become...
Sounds like an echo chamber to me.
Sounds like what?
Why?
Sounds like an echo chamber to me.
Why does it sound like an echo chamber?
Because
okay, so if a bunch of scientists if someone wants to go to school to become a scientist and they need to be approved by a board of scientists, how does that mean that it's an echo chamber? They have to be someone has to be qualified at some point to give him the license to practice.
Because okay, this is peer review 101, and Hunter can give other examples after me. Say I write a thesis on sunspots, and I hypothesize based on prior data points and prior studies that have come and gone on the given sunspot, that I have a so-called epiphany or a hypothesis of something new in regards to the sunspot that has never been thought of before. I then write my thesis, I do my research, I then draw out data points for myself, it's original research, and then I pass it by the Board of Examiners to critique it. It's called the Popper method. And if I don't pass, then it just means I don't pass because it doesn't match the scrutiny, or it doesn't stand up to the scrutiny of
I
the
agree,
examiners.
and we have something like that.
Hold on.
We have something like that in Islam.
Hold on. No, hold on a second. But there is a difference from what you're saying about what these scholars are doing versus what Rob is talking about with peer review. The difference is that if Rob is bringing something forward and it meets the line of scrutiny, it's not what the scholars pass down from the scholar, what the scholar passed down to the next scholar. It's this scholar did his own research by his own means without any sort of scholar telling him what to actually believe.
Just quickly, Hunter. Just quickly. It's you are literally passing peer review with scholars you've never met and you don't even know. It's to avoid any bias.
So you're saying that a scientist...
It's a blind
listen
selection.
Listen to what Rob is saying.
No, Hunter, continue. I just want to emphasize the blindness of the peer review.
That's exactly my point. The point of the matter is that the scholar who is writing this thesis, Rob, for example, he doesn't know the scholars who are going to peer review him. So there's no biasness in actually bringing in, there's no biasness that's being brought in from the scholars who's doing the peer review. They do that on their own accord by the conclusion they made on their own. That's how peer review works. That's how an actual scholar is a scholar. Because
anyone, if I bring in anyone who knows me by name and I know them by name, there's your little echo chamber because they'll defend me because I'm their friend.
Exactly, and so that's why it's a bad method. I'm sorry.
So okay, So the example here is, let's say someone wants to.
Did you say that's not how it works?
Hold on.
Yeah,
let me just. Okay, so let's say there's a new guy. There's a new sheikh, right? He just became a sheikh. He wants to make some exegesis. He wants to do some tafsir or sirah or whatever. He comes up with this meaning of an ayah, and what it does, it totally takes Muhammad out of character from what we know of his personality, his history. It totally goes against what the Quran says in other passages, and that's the purpose of the previous scholars, is to put this in light of that. So the previous scholars have studied Muhammad. They know his personality, his history, who he grew up with, who his family was. And so if anything goes against this, they'll be scrutinized as such. Same thing with the idea of what people agree upon what certain ayahs mean in the Quran.
Okay. Jalil, since we're talking about the life of Muhammad. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Just to clarify. Oh, no, finish your point, Jalil.
Yeah, just to relate. So back to science. In order to proceed with science, you need to you're not going to reinvent the wheel of what the law of gravity is every time you want to do an experiment.
Actually, that's what Einstein did.
You can, and if the consensus follows, then you will...
The consensus is based on the data. That's the universe itself that dictates the consensus on that. Like, Einstein made a theory, and guess what? Real world data showed he was right.
But again, that's based on the conclusion he was able to bring out by himself.
He was standing on the shoulder giants, but he went beyond anything Newton can conceive of.
Exactly, and that was
the giants in our case are the Salaf.
Except it's an echo chamber.
What basis do you have to say that it's an echo chamber when they're acting out of interest in preserving Islam based on what they know already of who the Prophet is, what he would have understood from this instance?
Then what about all the variant readings then? What about all the variant readings?
That's what the purpose of a consensus is. They all have to agree.
But that's not consensus, though. That would be majority rule. That's not
consensus. Yes, that is what the consensus is. Majority rule.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Majority rule. Oh my goodness. Consensus is across the board.
Yeah, it's pretty much it's unanimous.
Actually, hang on. This is ironic. Consensus is not the majority rule. Here's why. So coming back to that gravity analogy, right? Now notice Einstein is alone in his argumentation for relativistic effects. The majority are Newtonian in their conception of gravity. That's the point. The majority look at Einstein and go, oh, okay, hot shot. Let's see if this is right. And then the majority are convinced, and they let go of Newton and then convert to Einsteinian, mechanics.
Yeah. So if we had a bunch of people and say,
so one dude convinces the majority.
What we're trying to say is that if there's a hadith that says a pillar of Islam is performing Hajj, someone is going to say, I think we should follow this because it's relevant in the Quran and it's found in the Quran that we should make Hajj. Everyone will agree, and at that point, it's because it's found in the Quran and the Hadith, and it's backed by a Sahih chain and a sound mind of the people that are reporting on it, and it follows in line with what the Prophet was teaching.
But what's happening? Yeah, but what's
and that will never that won't change. It's not. You're not going to find.
No. I'm not discounting that.
Hajj is not part of the pillars of Islam.
Yeah, but I'm not discounting that. What I'm saying is, notice that this so-called chain and like going back to the original source, and at the end of the day, that's still, how do you actually know that's a valid data point within their own little echo chamber, that because that's how it started. It started as an echo chamber.
But that's your opinion on how it is. Actually, in reality, what it is actually is
not
the
at
amount of
all.
scrutiny, that goes on within the scholarly, like the scholars, is crazy. I mean, you have stories of people going out and calling out people as liars just for one or two words that they messed up in the hadith. Like these people really cared about keeping it as it was from before. So you won't find any changes from before, and it's all preserved.
Guys, I have a question since we're talking about Sahih.
Then maybe Rob Christian can take over.
Okay, we're focusing on
I have a Sahih Hadith here in front of me. Musnad
Why are you doing this, bro?
Just a second. We're talking about Sahih Hadith. You mentioned
crazy. You guys, I gotta go piss. I'll talk to you guys later.
Okay, bye. I have here a Sahih Hadith from Musnad Ahmad, Hadith number 3788. Again, Musnad Ahmad, Hadith number 3788. Sahih Hadith, connected chain. It says that Muhammad was ridden by naked creatures called azut. Why would Allah allow naked creatures who are, according to Hadith, naked without any clothes to ride Muhammad all night long? Please explain.
I cannot comment on that. I have no idea.
Why? You never heard of it before?
Okay, well, first off, you've already evaded the entire challenge you made originally. Secondly,
no, I buried you on that. I buried you. Then I brought a challenge. You didn't want to accept it. So since you guys are talking now about Sahih chains and Sahih Hadiths, I am jumping in to talk about a Sahih Hadith.
Habibi
and you
Hunter.
are too coward to address my question. So why did Allah allow, according to a Sahih Hadith that is found in Musnad Ahmad, and I already gave the reference, Musnad Ahmad, Hadith number 3788, Sahih. Why did Allah allow naked creatures called azut to ride Muhammad all night long? Go ahead.
I have no
knowledge. I am heading out. So, Avery, love you, man. Rob, love you, man.
Yo,
good love you, man.
Love all y'all.
Love you, 200. Good night, bro.
I think we can all agree you've ignored the answer to the first challenge, and so you're basically.
I already buried you on that, man. Brother Avery, you can also show the official Islam Q&A Salafi website, since you are accepting the Sunnah. So we can show you that also from there. I already showed you from Ibn Kathir, and we can also show you from IslamQA.info that right hand possesses only and only means war booty, women that are from war booty, captured from war.
Captured from war, which means she was a slave woman prior to being gifted anyway, so she would already been considered.
But Muhammad did not capture her through war, so we are done with that. I buried your lie there. Done. We are done. So, are you going to answer my question? Why would Allah allow naked jinn that are called homozut? Why did Allah allow Qawm al-Zut to come and ride your prophet all
I
night
can come
long?
up with
Why
any
did
random
Allah
accusation about
allow
Christianity.
creatures to rape your
Sticking to the
prophet?
point.
Answer the question, my friend.
I can't
I
just.
got
I'm not
to
just gonna abide to every single challenge you're just gonna throw out by your whim.
So you don't tell me you never heard this before.
I've never heard it before.
He says he's never heard it. He's hungry. I think
Maybe it's time to go check it out because it's very important. Because why would the final prophet be allowed to be raped? That's a very important question.
It's tough. It's a good place to end it anyway. I think that we've been on here long enough. We're at 3 hours and 40 minutes.
Brother Avery, some people are saying in the live chat, it's very embarrassing that Allah would allow his final and beloved prophet to be ridden by naked people. I agree, though.
Yeah, it is what it is, man.
Yeah.
But this was fun, man. This was fun. Jalil, thanks for sticking
how many topics have we talked?
So long. Probably 20, 22. Man. Goodness. But this was fun. This was fun for the most part. I'm hungry. I got a potato boiling right now. About to go have me some.
I think the last topic we need to discuss is a gentleman in the back room, also by the name of Robert, and that he owns a very beautiful yacht, and I think that needs to be public.
What Rob is this?
Joke, by the way. I bring him up, and he has beautiful voice.
Rob, or he's a Christian? Hey, Rob.
No, what's up?
Man,
there we go. Yes.
That's the crying Rob right there.
This is crazy.
Oh man, good old Rob. Him and I go way back.
My God, you had so many topics.
Oh, there, Rob. Hey, what's up, buddy?
What's up, guys?
Yeah,
what's up?
See, yeah.
All the local guys are here. Oh,
I wasn't familiar with you, man. My bad. I'll bring you up next time. I wasn't familiar with you.
No problem, bro.
Yeah, but yeah, we're about to end the stream now, guys. I want to say thank you to all the Robs that showed up.
Yes. Thank you guys for having me. Obviously, it got kind of heated, but at least we were able to come to some conclusions.
At the end of the day, I enjoyed
Jalil, promise me one thing. Go study on what your right hand possesses means. And Lord willing, we can see each other again and talk about it.
And inshallah, once you accept the definition, you'll take the shahada.
Just a second, allow me to finish my sentence. If after you study it, come back and say, Rob, yes, you are right. If you're honest and man enough, come say, Rob, yes, you are right. I was wrong. And second question, study Musnad Ahmad Hadith number 3788, and you can maybe tell us why Allah allowed naked jinn to ride your prophet.
By the way, Rob, maybe you should look at what Qurtubi and Tabari says on 424, because he was just looking at fiqh, right? I have to look at other sources because
we showed him Ibn Kathir, brother.
Yeah, but he doesn't.
But Rob, all you need to do is show him his yacht.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's go ahead and wrap this up, guys. So thank you, Jalil, for coming, man, and hanging out with us and staying in the mud with us, man. Like I said before, you are literally always welcome. You haven't been disrespectful at all on the stream, man. And so God bless you, man, for and hopefully
we can though, Avery. We
on,
can
man.
if you like.
No, you can keep coming on, man. And shout out to Adam as well. Adam, he dropped off a little bit early, but he was in for the longest too. So shout out to Adam, who was here from the first second and hanging out with us. I know it's not easy to have a conversation with RC. So thank you, Rob, from Citadel Apologetics. I appreciate you, and I appreciate everyone for chiming in here, being part of the stream with the super chats and the support, the mods moderating the chat and everything like that. God bless you all. If something else pops up, I will also be live streaming again, maybe even tomorrow or the next day. So who knows? Lord willing, we'll see. So that's it from us.
It's good that we're ending the stream with a Rob inception.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do something about this. I can't let this happen anymore.
Yeah,
anyway.
Yeah, we're taking over, bro. You have to do something.
I gotta do some purging, man. I gotta do some purging here, man. With that being said, you guys be blessed. There's only one God who is triune, and Jesus is the Christ who died for our sins, rose on the third day with power and authority. Amen, Robs.
Amen. God bless you, man.
Amen.
God bless everybody.
I'm gonna put that on my yacht.
Hey.
It's God.